growing up's with low esteem. Who was so hard they could be? Some version mandated by the unseen forces who wrote the dream. How'd we all end up believing? Pretending that we breathe with meaning, end up being beings just repeating. Same old message that resurfaced before. Philosophy with no core, surely I'm bored. Pretentious and cocky, solely abhorred. If they cannot stop it, they do not absorb. That's why them old heads be so broken as the world bends to all the new trends. Then they get mad, and so the drama, it begins again.
Seeing, dreaming, it's a question of what you believe. Competing, stealing, it's a matter of what you perceive. Grieving, feeding, it's a question of what you believe. Achieving, releasing, questioning, who do you wanna be?
I've been on fortunate vibes to come from a life where so few have died. Others face trauma I don't have inside. As I face my trauma, I ride this new style. We all trying to find a way. We all trying to ride this wave. Hey, we all trying to stow away. We all trying to climb that next guy's fame. Original, original. We're algorithmically original. We spend the time with the numericals. Wagging dicks that we can't simmer down. People get loud or at least profound. Ignore the sound coming from wisdom's mouth. Wonder why nothing is changing now. Pretending we give it all as we drown. I learn the lessons, then share my blessings. Some days my flexing get hella pretentious. I get overwhelmed, start forgetting what's precious. Give up the ring unless I'm melted with my fetish. Then blast away I'm with all feelings and passion. Watch as I'm crashing through a sea of inaction. Crafting my diamonds from we're looking like magic. I grind on this path, I will last.
Seeing, dreaming, it's a question of what you believe. Competing, stealing, it's a matter of what you perceive. Grieving, feeding, it's a question of what you believe. Achieving, releasing, questioning, who do you wanna be?
I look forward to showing you all the world. Been through the rain, good girl, I'm gonna show you more, show you more. For now, I sing you away from an awkward place. I'm gonna show you more, I'm gonna show you more. It all starts with some passion. I see you walking past and it's instantly distracting. It's more than those assets. Your charm is attractive. I'm so often lost in thought. Yo, your energy is magic. And yo, I think I'm trapped with this idea of you and I can tangle it. I'm saying I wanna smash, then hit it down and create a moment that lasts. With you, let time pass. I can see it in your eyes, you're different. I can see what's so hot, but I'm climbing in. I developed this patience so I can listen. Not jealous of your life, it's simply interesting. Getting to know you on every level possible. Introduce you to my pain and all my obstacles. You never ran away, instead ran ahead. Held me close, showed me how love can save even this broken soul. I look forward to showing you all the world. Been through the rain, good girl, I'm gonna show you more, show you more. For now, I sing you away from an awkward place. I'm gonna show you more, I'm gonna show you more. Flash forward through some wins and some losses. Seeing your face with my eyes open, you're all in. Even though lately my options feel so boxed in. And you're prospering as I'm faltering. Love is pretty lovely, ain't it? Someone holding you down when you ain't shit, giving perspective. Believing in your essence when you can't live alone in balance. I'm supposed to be intelligent, but lately it's a bunch of panic. Smartest thing I did was investing in this. So here's to you, kid, let's go to Casablanca. Then fill our passport to the limit. Bypass basic and win this reward for the grind where I threw us in the mix. You put up with some shit and I appreciate you. I mean it, this whole life I built with you. We done grown, bloomed and all that with you. So when we through the gloom, you know it's gonna be me and you. I look forward to showing you all the world. Been through the rain, good girl, I'm gonna show.
You know, 3 years ago or something like that. And it's like, yeah, because someone like him cares.
Yeah, exactly.
Man,
It's fitting that this whole thing starts with a Kanye West anecdote from Baxter. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Our Perspectives. This is our weekly show where we review the news, which, I'll be honest, it might largely be based around Kanye West and Drake and whatever's happening in the world of their ecosystems, plus whatever's interesting, you know, stuff that pops up in the zeitgeist of culture that we decide to comment on and share our perspectives. And we look forward to hearing your perspectives as well in the comments. My name is Holden Stephan Roy. We have Littyyy Bro Flacko with us today, and Baxter Words is also here to share his insight. And we are looking forward to getting into it with you. Make sure to leave your comments. It is a live show, Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And, subscribe on the YouTube if you're over there. We're now live on YouTube as well, so youtube.com/perspectives. And feel free to share with your friends so you can tell them the good word of what we're doing here. On that note, we'd like to get started sharing how our weeks went. So what happened with all of y'all over the last week?
EO-Dub had an open mic show at Karma last night, and it was lit. It was lit. If you don't know, Karma is like a hookah lounge club in the Lower East Side. They really recently went through some renovations. If I'm completely forthcoming and honest, I didn't know how it was going to go because, you know, there was a lot of obstacles. They didn't have a stage. There was some equipment that was missing. But EO-Dub is full of very talented and exceptional individuals. So when we needed equipment, we got equipment, and we made the best of it. And it was really a fantastic show. The vibes was high and crazy. That's what I'm hearing. The talent was like on point. It was since it's a hookah lounge, it was a smoke-friendly room. Which, as I've been speaking about, I've been sober all year. I have not been getting high, but last night I got high, but not by my own, just by being in the room. Yeah, I was in the room, I was hosting, and I was like, I feel funny. I was like, wait a minute, am I high? I was like, God damn it! But I mean, you know, as long as I'm not getting high, that's fine.
Right.
But it was very dope. But we're gonna do it again next week. So if you're in New York City and you want to come out
it's back to weekly.
We're working on things.
Okay,
but we are gonna we're gonna do it next week.
I thought I heard like a twice a month thing. But 2 weekends in a row is like, whoa.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Feels like old days.
Listen, man, we were talking about this. I can't believe we used to do that every week. But we're going to do it next week, and then we have a couple of other things in the works. So stay tuned.
I'll try to be there this Sunday coming.
Yeah, come through. Cinco de Mayo.
I couldn't make this last Sunday, but I could definitely try to make this Sunday coming up for sure.
You know, your presence is appreciated, and your absence is never held against you. You know.
Yeah, that's what I tell the homies. That's what I told everybody about like my birthday. I was like, you can don't worry. Like I'm not the friend. I'm not the friend counting people like
keeping score.
This person didn't show up. Like I'm the person that like I'll show up to your shit, and that doesn't mean you have to show up to my shit. Like we're good. Like I'm not counting. I'm not counting support. I'm not counting. I'm not when I'm doing my shit. I'm not counting who's not in the building. I'm appreciating who is in the building. You know what I mean? So like I'm too busy appreciating the people who did show up to even notice who didn't show up. You know what I mean?
You should be too busy having a good time, you know? But and also like people live different lives. You don't know what people are going through. You don't know, what responsibilities they have or where they are. So give people grace.
Also, there just might be something else they got to do at the same time, at the same place, because somebody else got to them first.
Maybe.
Yeah. Absolutely. I this past week had the Littyyy Bros got back in the studio together this past week on Thursday. It was the entire Littyyy Bros team. It was Lady Hustle, Paulie Hustle, myself, and Just James Figueroa all in the studio
Wow.
together, and we laid something down, and the magic was magicking. It was beautiful. It was
Do you,
not a step miss.
do you think this means we're getting another Littyyy Bros project?
Yeah, definitely. You know what? That's something that like we talked about immediately. We were in the studio, and Lady was laying down her vocals, and it was a really nice studio, by the way. I
It looked
fucking
like it.
forgot the name of it.
I saw you post it.
Fucking forgot the name of it. We were at. They had like a pool table. They had like a little. What's the thing that you have? A putter, golf putter
Oh,
thing,
like
that you
mini
have in
golf
like your
type of thing?
business.
Right.
Like you know, not the heavy swing shit.
No,
the,
but like
the shit
the
to
one with
practice
like the little
with the
thing
little
on the
green,
floor.
with the little green on the floor. Yeah, that elevates just ever so
Like
slightly.
you see it in like movies and shit when they're like
You
in the
see it in
things and they're
movies.
like fucking
When I saw
putt.
it, I was like, oh, this is always in the
It's like
CEO,
it's always
the
a rich
offices.
guy. It's always like some
Always
rich
a
people
rich
shit,
guy.
or like they'll
Always
be on
some
like
rich
the
guy.
roof of a building or some shit.
Yeah, and you know what? It goes to show that the Littyyy Bros, we really live up to like our like shit. Like not only like being in a bougie studio like that, but like Paulie is a golfer. Paulie is like a super golfer. Oh, we didn't even know that you had a cat, Bax.
Oh
Why
yes,
don't you
very much
introduce?
so.
Why don't you introduce your cat?
That's my cat Flo. She wants to be in the podcast today, I guess. You got something to say? She doesn't talk much at all. She's a very quiet cat.
That's
Word.
fortunate.
But yeah.
What up, Flo? I love that
Flo?
her name is Flo.
Stands for Flodega.
Flodega.
Shout out to my homie
That's
BS.
hard.
He was over when I got her, and I gave him the honor of naming her, and he named her Flodega because we got her from a bodega.
That's amazing.
That's
I was hoping it was
amazing.
bodega related.
That
was
is an amazing fucking New York story right there.
The whole story is pretty interesting. Shout out to Amber Maillard. We were living in Washington Heights at the time. She was my girlfriend. She went out to get milk. She's like, I'm going to go out and get milk. I want to have cereal. I'm like, bet. Me and BS was in my living room writing raps. And she comes back and she goes, baby, how much do you love me? And I already know, like, whatever comes next is just something I have to say yes to. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's nowhere like, how much do you love me? And then the next thing is something I'm like, nah. Like, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, the man at the bodega is selling cats. And I was like, we already had a dog at the time. I was like, we don't need more animals. But then she came back with Flo. She came back with, well, first she came back with another cat, and then Flo's sister, Dusty, who she still has. And then, when she went, she forgot the milk. So she had to go back and get the milk. And then the guy was like, yo, I gave you the wrong cat. That's the cat that my girlfriend's attached to. So then she had to come back, get the cat, bring that cat back. And then she came back with Flo. And then I've had Flo for since like 2016, and
so
she's
cool.
got her sister Dusty. But yeah,
That's
Yeah.
amazing. Amazing. Such a New York City story. The corner bodega guy is selling cats.
yeah,
Because his bodega cat had cats more than
Right.
likely. You know what I mean?
And I lucked
Amazing.
out. She's an amazing cat. I love her so much. Doesn't meow.
Word.
Very, very, cute and cuddly.
Word. She's just chilling there like goddamn Sphinx.
Anyway, back to your.
So yeah, the Littyyy Bros are very litty. Paulie knows how to golf. Like he's a professional golfer essentially. Like for our circle of friends, like there's people that know how to golf, and then there's guys who have like before he went up to the woods and became a woods guy, he was in New York City and he was a drip reseller / stylist / designer / spends all his time at the country club golfing. You know what I mean? Like he had a membership at a country club out in Jersey, in Montclair, and in like Westchester or something like that. I forgot where in New York. But like he's like a golfer. Point being, we were talking immediately before we even laid down one track. We were just like, yo, we got to get like because Paulie was talking about retiring after this upcoming Volume 4. That is like kind of like his baby. This album.
Retiring from rapping.
Retiring from Littyyy Bro's business. And we were immediately like, nah, that can't happen, bro. You know what I mean? Like, and Jess is back in the mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Things are just getting started.
Things are just getting heated back up. Right. For anybody who might be listening, might be unaware, me and my brother, because like I feel like I keep on talking about it.
Like as you're saying,
contextless, super contextless, and I know my brother, and he would not care that I talk about it. Right, like we were on the outs. We're brothers. You know what I mean? And this is what happens when you're brothers with someone. We're like, you fight sometimes, and like
wait, you and Paulie, or you and Jess?
Me and Jess were on the outs.
But are you really friends with Jess James if you're never on?
No, that's my brother. Right. But yeah, you know, the point being, this was also like the longest we've ever been on the outs. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like we don't ever spend this much time apart, and it definitely hindered a lot of Littyyy Bro shit. I mean, it didn't hinder. We kept on moving and pushing. You know what I mean? But like, definitely. The magic is, you know, like similar to what I was talking about with the show, you know, like me and Jess have like a magic together, you know, and when we get in the studio together, and Paulie has a magic going that he didn't have when we did Volume 1 together, Volume 1 and Volume 2 together, you know? So it's just like Paulie's a fucking rock star now. We have a singer in the group and Littyyy, and like, for me and Jess to be back together and be able to like mesh the same way that we always have, like we recorded one track and it immediately sounded like, oh my God. It feels the way that Black felt when I recorded Black, where it's like, oh my God, this is a fucking banger. Like this is gonna be something to perform and people are gonna enjoy it and the energy will be high. And it's just good. And it's like the last piece of the Volume 4. So we'll close out Volume 4 with a track with all of us on it. And hopefully Volume 5 is not too far behind. Paulie agreed to it. He said that his only condition is that we record it in an Amish cabin. To which I was like, Paulie, that is a lot of you business. I'm trying to focus on the Littyyy Bros business. And he's like, no, yeah, it has to be an Amish cabin that we record in the whole album. And I'm like, okay, but I'm not buying an Amish cabin. I don't have an Amish cabin, friend.
Right.
Do you have an Amish cabin you were planning? He's like, I was planning on buying an Amish cabin is what I'm saying. And so I'm like, okay, so you're planning on buying another property and you want us to record this album on that property. Lord knows where. Because he's talking about buying another property down in fucking New Orleans. I don't think that the Amish are in New Orleans, but they are all over the country. They're in Florida. They're mostly East Coast based, though, if I'm not mistaken. But then again, you know what? They're in Utah too, so that's a lot. The point is, apparently there'll be an Amish cabin, and we'll be fucking recording Volume 5.
What I'm gonna say straight up, I am looking forward to the Facebook post preceding your trip to the Amish cabin. Because that's when you start thinking about how you're not going to be in New York and what's there to do around Amish land. And you're going to have this just verbal
Well, I think the whole point and for the cabin is to focus on making the album. Like there isn't supposed to be a lot to do.
I hear you, but I've just watched Flacco go places on Facebook, and he tends to start thinking before he leaves New York about wherever he's going.
I mean, he's talking
y'all don't
about
have no fucking pizza that's good for New York. I won't eat no pizza out there. Y'all got no specialties. Y'all got.
I definitely do that. I did that with the Poconos, right? But it's because it was the Poconos. Time. So it's like, I'm not excited about the Poconos.
You'll even go down to like Atlanta and somehow manage to still...
Atlanta is
You'll give lots of love and respect, but that's when it's more like the pizza and things you'll only have in New York where it's like light love taps.
Right, definitely. I mean, but that's across the board. When I leave the 4 boroughs of New York City, I don't eat pizza. That's it. That's my hard stop. I'm good.
What about Chicago?
I've given Jersey, and I mean, when I stop in Chicago, I'll eat a deep dish. That's not a pizza, right? Like,
Fact, okay.
I'm not looking at that like a pizza. I'm looking at it like a Chicago delicacy. You know what I mean? It's a deep dish. It's a pizza casserole. You know, pizza lasagna casserole.
He's got a point.
When I leave New York City, I don't eat pizza. I've eaten pizza in Connecticut and Jersey to like hear out my like friends in those areas when it comes to arguing their pizza versus ours. But like
they beat us out on the list.
That's some fucking trash fucking guy. That's the thing that I always
Somebody
say.
from Jersey, Connecticut.
You go look them up. There's always some guy from Jersey, Connecticut, white guy, right, who moved to New York to write for The Voice or something, and they're always trying to, and it's like they don't ever think about what comes beyond trying to get number one pizza in America. Right? Like, what are you offering? What are you offering tourists after
but
that?
even to that
like,
end,
how are you going to keep them there?
They probably went blind in pizza, right? Like you can get mediocre pizza in New York City. There is just mediocre shit that can exist there on some tourist traps and whatever. So chances are, a lot of the times, the people who don't necessarily write things appropriately, they didn't get like a Flacco Bayo tour, which is something you can get on our Patreon, by the way. Quick little plug, patreon.com/perspectives. You could get a run through the city with somebody that knows all the proper pizza spots. Because like, after I went to New York, I realized it's like the dough and shit. That's the real difference, like, in the way everything's like layered. It's like you can't get that here. You can get all kinds of toppings that are similar, but you can't get a dough that replicates exactly what New York be doing with it. And like, I'm not one to fight that shit. We got a lot of people up here that go to New York, study fucking pizza making, and I've had some shit that came. I mean, I'm in the restaurant game, so I've talked to quite a few of them, and they're proud. They'll like go work with like top pizza guys in New York City. They'll import fucking ovens. They'll do all the shit they can possibly do, and it'll never taste quite the same because it's not. It's Montreal pizza.
That's what they say.
Our cheese is like
I think it's not even just the water
and all that kinds of shit. Yeah, it's,
to be honest with you, I don't think it's just the water. I also think, to be perfectly honest, it's the fucking goddamn tubes that water is coming out of. Yeah. It's the fucking it's the rust in the fucking sink fucking faucet of the fucking New York City pizza places that they add the water to their dough and their sauce that makes it have that. It's like a skillet. You don't wash a skillet pan. You leave the juices on there. It just keeps on adding to the flavor decade after decade, and your food just gets more amazing. You know, like
wasn't it invented?
I mean, you clean a skillet, but you know, you don't scrape.
Like the modern American,
we invented what people consider American round
like it's
pie
not like
pizza.
Like the mainstream
in Italy,
or the shit that y'all are known for.
Pizza, which is a Neapolitan style that gets served to you as a personal pan. That's an oblong shape, not really round. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
In New York City, we invented the round pie that you get 8 slices out of. You know what I mean?
With the cheese on top and everything.
That's what got invented in America. Yeah, with the cheese on top.
A Neapolitan is going to be very sparse with the cheese. It's very sauce heavy on top and things like that.
Exactly.
But y'all like actually invented this shit. So it just makes sense that the best of the best comes from the people who've done it the longest with the most competition, whereas everyone else has imported it. In the same way that like y'all could import poutine ingredients, but it's not like y'all have 100 years of experience with the shit, you know?
Yeah. It's the same thing I say about everybody. Listen, Holden, you're starting to sound like me, and I like it. Everybody has, and there's something that I just say because it's like it's logical.
Facts when
it's
facts
just like
are facts.
Everybody has their great. Like, yo, nobody in America or the world will ever catch up to California's marijuana growing process. They're just not. They're going to always have 50 years of this shit on everybody. They've been growing their shit for that much longer than everyone else in the world. You know what I mean? It's like us in fashion. Like fashion, music industry, pizza. There's certain things that we have a chokehold on that by the time anybody else jumps in and tries to like get great at it, it's like, yo, you're working on a handicap that you don't even realize, bro. You're better off not trying to compete. I don't want to compete with California when it comes to growing weed. I'd just rather keep on importing greatness from the greatest provider of that thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
You
yo,
want some
they're
weed, go to
the
California.
experts, bro. You're the experts. Let me get your shit. Will we grow our own shit? Absolutely, sure. Send that to like Oklahoma or somebody. You know what I mean? Who deserves it? Like, I need my Cali shit, you know, and different shit, right? Like when I go to eat sushi, I don't care if you got wild Mexicans in the back, but the guy who cuts up my fish, I want that to be a Japanese guy, bro. I want that to be a Japanese guy with fucking centuries of knowledge behind what he's doing. His father before him, they were all fucking sushi chefs, and their fucking fillet skill is unparalleled, and you could never, you know what I mean? Like everybody, and when I go to Montreal, I eat poutine. Will I eat poutine other places? Maybe, but I don't expect it to be as great as when I go to Montreal.
I hate
you know
Toronto.
What I mean?
Toronto's got a couple of nice spots. It sucks to admit it, but you know they can get that Montreal shit in same day, so fair enough.
I just like Montreal better than I like Toronto.
And also,
I
would never.
Toronto, though.
I would never go eat poutine anyplace else and think to myself, this is what it's supposed to taste like. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you go to Montreal and you get it there, whatever that is, that's what it's supposed to taste like.
Hold on. Right. Even to that end, right? It's like you can go to New York City and get tourist pizza, and you can go to New York City and get proper pizza, because like a lot of them poutine joints, they're really trying to get you on tourist shit. Like there's a proper poutine that we all grew up with. And then somewhere in the 2010s, bougie poutines kicked in. And now most places cater more to the bougie side. So like, even just, I don't know. I had
a bougie poutine. I had apparently like a classic spot poutine. And then on the last night, when we came back from the club Saturday night, while late or whatever, and there was nothing open, I had McDonald's poutine.
That to me is like sacrilege. McDonald's poutine's like, to be fair, there are people here that like it. Like Bonnie fucking likes McDonald's poutine, and it makes no sense to me. It's the most trash poutine I've ever had.
Bonnie, hey, Bonbon in the comments, she just said nice as soon as I said McDonald's poutine.
Freaking bougie poutine should be the name of something. A rapper, a song, album.
It's probably it. If not, I'm gonna jump on that because you got a fair point.
Jump on that. You know what, though? You know what? Today I made a post about this on Facebook. I talk shit about...
Bonnie, gets the job done is not food we're celebrating. That's
French Canadians in Montreal. Let me tell you something. I realized it this weekend. I'd be spitting a lot of French words in my fucking... Like, in my bars. I'd be with the au revoirs and the fucking... You know what I mean? Like, all the fancy Americanized... Like American English absorbed French words. Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
Like I definitely be with all that shit. You know, on the Littyyy Bros Redux track, I fucking the Ubompang, the fucking but I trash some of it. You know what I mean? Some of it I hit it out the park. Some of it I trash it up, but it doesn't matter. I love it. So you know, Holden, we might have to get a cross collab. We might have to get the Holden Stephan Roy Littyyy Bros collab popping on this what was it? What were we gonna call it? Bougie poutine. Mate, are we? Is it all of us?
That shit.
Baxter. Is it an us track?
I'm down.
Is this a bougie poutine? It is, fellas.
Just send me the beat.
Say no more. There we go. All right, yo, Holden. Because I feel like we never got to how was your week?
We did not get there.
I didn't even finish my week. I did that. Was at the studio, and then I celebrated the boy Triple Black's birthday. Happy birthday, Triple Black. Happy birthday, Troy. Love you, bro. He be fucking supporting the channel, and he definitely be watching. And he also used to be on my podcast I would do at Yankee Stadium. And yeah, Troy is the homie. Big shouts to him. And then that was the end of it because I was caught up with work shit on Sunday, and I didn't get to go to EOW. Off to you, Holden.
Yeah, no, it was a wildly busy week. I had a couple of food shoots, so went in. I got to go to this nice event. This is a nice spot downtown that had it's called East Pan Asiatique, or Pan Asian. That's the name of the restaurant. It's not a great name, I'll be honest, but the food was fire. They had this red curry stuff that we got with possibly the nicest sauce I've had all in the last year. Like that, it didn't even need the meat, bro. The sauce on the rice was fire enough, but the meat was just like a benefit. It was beautifully done. The dumplings were fire. Drinks was nice. It was a really cool spot. That's my favorite part of this gig, is discovering all these places that are like actually fucking wildly delicious.
Let me tell you something. That's my favorite part of your job as well, because I know I will benefit now when I go up there from your job. Spots, you know what I mean? Like, I never gave a flying fuck about your fucking engineer, security, fucking whatever was that fucking. What was that company you were working for, Holden?
Quest. I did reputation and community management for AvalonQuest. They make software like photo editors and PDF softwares and shit like that.
Right. Never really. You work for Norton Malware and shit. You know what I mean?
Adaware. Like Adaware was definitely a company we owned.
Let me tell you something. I never gave a fuck about that job.
Understood.
All right? Let me tell you. I mean, hey, listen. I'm happy you were employed there, though. You know what I mean?
Don't get me wrong.
But I didn't give a fuck.
Shit, management.
But now that I can benefit from your job, what?
Now I'm on that sales shit.
Go to Montreal, eat all the good eats because you fucking actually been eating at all the good spots, and I get to fucking see where you've been eating. Bookmark fucking posts when it's time for me to go up there, be like, yo, take me here.
I know, and there's a couple spots where it's like, damn, this place is like fucking nice, and the food was fire, and like the vibes are cool. Cause like, yo, our like, I don't know about New York, but Montreal is really going down the resto bar direction of shit, where you go to the place to eat, and then it just kind of turns into the club, and that's really been dominating.
No, of course,
a lot more than other
that's
vibes.
That's been big in New York City, if anything, since the 90s.
Right. I mean, yeah. Then Thursday, there was this show I went to where it was like all the guys who were like potentially, like had they all been born in New York City, they probably would have had a real chance to pop rappers from like 2010. They all like kind of came in and made this little collective of guys and did this show Thursday, and it was beautiful because like the place was full, the energy was nice, like it was rowdy where like I can kind of get a sense for how it could have gone a different way, but it didn't. It just stayed beautiful. We saw them all throwing ice cubes and napkins on the stage because there was nothing else to throw on the stage, so that was probably the most preposterous thing I've seen, but it was fire. It was like,
that sounds kind of damn near dangerous in several ways.
Ice cube hit the fucking mixing board.
You pelt me with an ice cube. I don't give a fuck how much love you were trying to show. We're fighting. You know what I mean? Like, you're not.
Was like, because they got the bucket from like the fucking bottles. Ice cubes is just flying.
Literally, this is how the beef between there was some the beef between fucking Jim Jones, Dipset, and fucking French Montana and them. They threw ice at them. You know what I mean? Like, don't throw ice at a motherfucker. Matter of fact, somebody threw ice at Terror Squad, and they went up. Like, it's a famous story that like Fat Joe and them have of like somebody threw ice at them from like the balcony or something, and then Terror Squad formed like Voltron, beat them up, and then went back to the show. You know what I mean? Like Terror Squad as a team, the rappers beat up somebody, not like their security and their homeboys. No, the rappers themselves beat up the guy that threw ice and then went back to this. So it's just like, don't. And then also, even if you don't pelt me, now we got a bunch of ice on the stage. If I fucking slip because you guys fucking threw ice on the stage, we're fighting again. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like,
I digress.
Backing me up.
Super preposterous. It was just like, because here's the thing: the ice is one thing, but they threw napkins. And there's nothing like
to clean up the ice.
Looking to watch a bunch of napkins land on the stage. I don't know. It was a vibe. I really enjoyed it. Either way.
Nah, but it sounds like some people who probably were overdue some love got shown some some big time love, and
Like,
that's always.
like,
If I'm not
it was one of
mistaken, one of
those,
the people was you were
yeah.
one of the people. Hold on, Holden. God damn, give me a runway so I can fucking help you take off. All right. You were bigging up the guy that we once talked about in our podcast when you were talking about the guy that like kind of like put you on to like.
Well, it was more taught me about Googling and shit. So like ultimately I never would have gotten into podcasting and like really pushed it if it wasn't for Justice McFly, who was also performing on it. He actually did
and
try
who
to
also used to battle rap and battle rapped on
Yeah.
KOTD. Shouts out to Justice. Word up. That's who I wanted
And it
to.
was also Magnum 357 was there. He's now Revolver Mags, but like that guy was like he was big enough to get made fun of by New Yorkers in 2006 on YouTube. Like he had managed, which honestly for Montreal, that's not an easy thing to do, to be getting onto the radar of other cities calling you soft coming from Montreal. If you can get to that point, you are definitely doing something right because you maybe New York ain't gonna fuck with you, but the fact that they know that you exist is crazy. Even if it's anyone out there, and you could tell.
That was actually that was the era that, to be honest with you, things were moving away from New York big, and like people from their own area building their own shit that was not New York City centric became a valuable commodity. You know what I mean?
You could see like that shit in the room because like what I'll say is motherfuckers was rapping along. And when they was running the tracks back, people were excited. It was cool. Plus, like this dude Borden performed, and like that guy can fucking rap his ass off on some.
His name is Boredom.
Borden.
That's dope.
Oh, Borden.
Borden.
Boredom would also
really
be a dope name.
I thought his name was Boredom.
Nah,
that would be a dope
like
name.
to hear that the guy named Boredom was super exciting is like
Word. Facts. It's
good,
lit.
good. It's lit. That's what I want to hear. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want. You gotta be exciting if your name is gonna be Boredom, but it's Borden.
Yeah, Borden. Borden.
Borden.
Dude is
Yep.
like if you want to listen to the Montreal street shit of guys who've been there and went to jail during the middle of their run type of levels, like that dude's one of those guys. But like it's not just like his like content being more on the authentic side, it's the performance and his fucking delivery and fucking costume changes mixed with the authenticity. They came in like this dude probably had 4 or 5 outfits on, including like at one point rocking.
Oh, he
like,
kept on stripping away. Copy. Yeah.
No, but not just stripping away, like running to the back and coming out with next shit. Like they look really, maybe not pants, but like from a top's perspective,
that's what I'm
going
talking
into
about.
the back and coming in with like, at one point they're in the white tees. Next time they got like the hoodies, they're all fucking hustling. Then they got some unique shit, so they all look different. Like, you know, they got a project that they're all on from the main producer called North Faces and Tech somethings. I don't remember what the fucking shoe is. It's not Gore-Tex. It's something else. And I don't remember what it is. My bad. But I know it's
maybe the North Face Tech what's it called? Tech Techs
I could probably Google it.
But they have like North Face has like a line, a tech line. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's from the 90s. It's one of their most famous North Face jacket pieces that we wore big time in the city. I forget if it's the 990 or the 7 because you know they have the numbers on the sleeve, the North Face jacket styles, and I forget what style it is, but it's one of those styles.
It's the high tech, right.
Also, which is where also I think High Tech got his name from, the producer from Reflection Eternal, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but like Mans came out in the North Face to start off his like one of his things. So like there was like 6 of them. It was like a mega set. It was a good example of what a show is supposed to be in a world of showcases that people seem very disinterested in. But that was fun. I got my taxes submitted, which is lovely because it took fucking forever to count receipts and get it all in order. Not excited for that part. Building up for his song release on May 10th, so I got the new song dropping and have been trying to flood with content to see
What's
how
the
that
new song's
goes.
name?
Witness the art of stopping to smell the flower. No, witness the beauty and stopping to smell the flowers.
Bougie poutine.
Yeah, it's people react really well to my like longer song titles, so I just been running with it and whatever pops into my head. Plus, there was a local Montreal rapper witness in the room with us. He just pulled up while I was recording the song. I wasn't expecting him, and he just sat there while I recorded 2 joints before his session started, because I'm pretty sure producer man's double booked us. So I thought it would be funny to plug his name into the song title because he got to witness me recording it. So I put his name in as the start of the title, and I wanted to play on that for like extra shit. But like, you know, just like so those little things you could talk about after that you got to plant yourself, because people ain't gonna plant them for you. Ain't no way the Swifties be doing it random. That shit's intentional. Otherwise, yeah, did my like grinding over the weekend. Got myself a ticket for running a stop sign, and that wasn't fun. And lesson learned: I'll try harder to stop at stop signs. Make sure I don't get more tickets. Yeah. Otherwise, pushing, and that was my week.
Stop running stop signs. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it wasn't good. There's nothing glorious in that.
Did you do it on? Did you do it on purpose? Were you like, fuck that stop sign?
It was more like I was on my way to pick up somebody. It was 3:30 in the morning. I'd been driving people for like 7 hours straight, and I was in the middle of fucking nowhere, like in terms of like suburb land, and it's them fucking not Montreal cops. It's them suburb cops who are like, yo, burning a stop sign's a big fucking deal, bro. It was one of those you pull up and go, but you didn't.
A rolling stop.
I didn't really, but I normally, because they literally told me my rolling stop was okay, but this other stop, which was less of a rolling stop, was not okay. Because when I did the other stop, which was pretty much a rolling stop, they were fine with that. He even specified that my rolling stop was okay. It was just that I probably burned the stop sign, not rolling enough.
But my question is, did you know you were burning the stop sign? Were you just like,
I personally thought I was doing a rolling stop, but it was late, and I guess my anticipation to get the next ride done with overtook my, and I wasn't.
Were you Ubering at the time?
I was on my way to get to this passenger, and what's crazy is I get pulled over at the corner of where they're standing. So then I have to send him a message like, bro, I just got pulled over by the cops, and I realized they can see me pulled over by the cops, and I have to sit there for 5 minutes waiting for this ticket, and he's getting charged now because I got there, and if you make the Uber driver wait, they start charging you extra. So he's getting charged extra because I'm stuck with the cop. I have to pull up to the cop and be like, because they ask you, what are you doing in the neighborhood? Fair question. I don't live anywhere near here. And I'm like, look, I'm doing Uber. I have to put the phone in his face and shit. And I thought it was a moment. And then I picked him up, and his girlfriend cried the whole trip to wherever the fuck I was going. So they already were having a bad night. And I made them wait 5 minutes while I got pulled over there. And then
why his girlfriend was crying?
You should have just been Spanish. Flacko would have known why. I could not make out muffled Spanish and crying.
She was Latin, bro. You already know what time it is. You know, some drama, and you know, he did something. He didn't guess some shit that he was supposed to guess. You know what I mean?
But it's interesting that they're still calling an Uber together. But anyway,
you got to get home because we're talking like the South Shore of Montreal, right? So this is like being in the middle of, I guess, Long Island or some shit. Yeah. So and then you're like trying to get back to any of the boroughs. So like there's not really good public transportation at 3:30 in the morning. Maybe there is in Long Island, but there is certainly not in the South Shore of Montreal.
Nah, not Long Island. Long Island too. They got the Long Island Railroad, but like it's the same thing as the past.
Everybody
like
out there has a car.
Overnight at 3 o'clock in the morning, they're like fucking life. You know what I mean? Figure it out.
Yeah.
It
ain't like New York City. Coney Island, you would still have like the train running. It's like maybe like you gotta wait 20, 30 minutes for it to go, but like also the train is still running.
Also, Coney Island is good because they have mad different train lines.
Right.
Yeah. But let's get into some what do you call it?
Let's get into the weak stuff.
Fucking
let's
Kendrick
start it out
and
with Drake. and Kendrick. I put Fizzling out. It's provocative. You know what I mean? I said it to be provocative. Again, I want to restate that, like, I don't have Kendrick on the clock. So, like, this could keep going.
I'm positive Kendrick is going to come back with something. It'll probably be on an album. It'll probably be very dope. Drake should be concerned.
According to DJ Academics, who's not a reliable source, according to me, Academics
the
said
Drake song.
He said that Kendrick won't be responding now that Kanye jumped in. Like, he was gonna respond, but he won't be because Kanye jumped in.
No.
To which, like, he had a bunch of, like, anger and vitriol about, like, why was it okay when it was you, Future, all these people. I don't know. You know, he was on a tangent of his own anger of whatever thought he already, or rumor that he's trying to substantiate. You know what I mean?
You know what I don't like? I don't like that when these motherfuckers say things and these things are proven to be untrue, they're not held accountable for it.
They're not.
Like if he says, "Oh, Kendrick won't be responding because Kanye jumped in," and then Kendrick responds, somebody should be like, "Yo, Academic, you can't like say nothing no more." Like you know what I'm saying? Like, don't, because there's no value for people who get it right. It's like horoscopes. It's like you're gonna fucking find $1 million today, and if you don't, it's like, all right, well, here's your next horoscope. It's like, why am I still reading you if you're not
gaming updates? News people do, like with the gaming leaks, and they're like, I went on Reddit and I saw a post. I can't tell you if it's true or not, but let me read you this Reddit post, and that's it. And they make like 1 million views on a video.
Right, and it's also like by adding Kanye into what you're talking about, now the headline is like more provocative. You know, Kendrick won't respond because Kanye is involved. And it's like now you have Kanye and Kendrick in the same headline that'll get people to click and read or watch your fucking podcast or whatever. And the reality of it is you're just making shit up. You're just saying shit.
Making shit up. Right.
You know?
It's not like just now when I prefaced everything that I'm saying with, according to Academics, who, according to me, is not a reliable source. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where it's just like, preface your shit, or at least stand on something and try to. But most of these people don't have like no integrity about what they're doing. You know, like they're really
they don't
just clickbaiting like a motherfucker,
and they just need the content.
And the thing about
There's another
Academics is that he gets a lot of shit right because of his role. And a lot of people actually do leverage his platform.
Do trust him. Mm-hmm.
So because of that, he can just wildly say what he wants, and he'll admit to being wrong. He will just make the video. And the fact of the matter is, you're probably not a core Academics fan. So like that accountability will be meaningless to you because you know he's going to do it again.
Well, yeah,
and his fans
I'm not against
don't care
Academics
in the first place. So it's just like, I mean, I think he's got a real role. Like, gossip sells, and he's a gossip mill.
But what? Yeah. And I'm not against Academics specifically. What I'm against is like what happens. What it turns into. Kind of like how when Cardi B sued homegirl K Michelle or whatever the homegirl is, the other gossip person, because like they said that she had herpes, and she was like
Tasha K.
Tasha K, right?
Tasha K.
Right, and it's like people shouldn't be allowed just to say whatever. Like there should be consequences for it. Like, you know, and like that's like that there was consequences and there should be consequences.
Because it's like a slanderous situation. Like,
but my point is like by having a atmosphere or an environment where you can just speculate on things and there are no like checks and balances. In an era where anybody can have a platform to say things is like extremely sort of like not dangerous, but it makes everything worthless, you know, in a very specific way. It's like everybody can have an opinion.
Right.
There is no check to see who is like right or wrong.
And it's not even an opinion a lot of times. It's like outright lies.
Right.
Like, it's not an opinion. Like the Tasha K thing wasn't like being like Tasha K saying Cardi B has herpes. It's like, that's not an opinion. That's like a lie. Like, you're just making shit up right? Because you don't like someone, and it's just like
sharing unsubstantiated information, and because like you can believe a lie and you might think you're telling the truth, but you didn't really do that. That's why like they have peer reviews and shit for studies and checks and balances in place for journalism, because like you're not supposed to go out there and saying it. And with something like herpes, right? Cardi B's an entertainer that works with a lot of people. That could literally hurt business prospects for her in the future.
I mean, I don't even think about it like that. Just think about it like it's either true or it's not. You know, like if she had it, right? There's that, like, you know, whatever. It's like if it's not true, why are you saying it? If you don't know for sure, why say it? You know? And it's like if academics is like, yo, I don't think that Kendrick is going to respond now that Kanye's involved. Bet I that's dope. But if you're just making it up, and I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but like you know. I don't even think that's news. I don't even think that's something that somebody should say, because it's like, what if Kendrick changes his mind? What if he wakes up, he's like, fuck that. I wrote these verses and I made these songs and I'm going to put them out.
I mean, if
I don't know.
I
just hate the speculation of it.
But like,
I prefer opinions.
Speculating, a lot of us would get away with it because we don't necessarily have the platforms right now. And with a guy like Academics, his entire shows, it's arguably not different than what we're doing here in terms of its like logistics. It's dudes on streams talking wild shit. And what ends up happening is in a 4-hour, 5-hour stream, moments like this where he goes off and whatever get captured, probably because of what was happening in the conversation. And so, like, in all fairness, it does bring up a real question of the ethics of having a platform of that size and your ability to speak so freely. That's a very valid point to bring up. But like, in terms of the content and the right to express it and its value, I mean, I think he's allowed to say it, but there should be, because of his size and because of his reach, some disclosure, the way that, honestly, comedians should stop assuming the world knows that their edgy humor is edgy humor, and put that little disclaimer on it too, because maybe that immigrant that speaks English as a fourth language doesn't get the double entendre of your joke.
Maybe. That comedy is different. If you're telling a joke, the assumption is that it's a joke. You know?
No, but from a content comedy point of view, where it's not
it
assumed,
depends,
because
if it's on a podcast,
even that, okay, then the bigger context of the clip, which should still maybe have a little I'm joking thrown in, because you are on a platform that's like intended to go beyond your normal audience.
Yeah,
who don't know you like that.
So I agree with that. Like, if you're a comedian doing a podcast, then you need, like, that's you. That's not an act. That's not like you're not on stage with, like, so the things that you say have to have some care or some consideration for your audience. But if you're a comedian on stage telling a joke, like, it's a joke. Some jokes work, some jokes don't.
I was thinking like more like YouTube sketches, things like that, where the chances of people who won't get the joke are significantly higher than the framed situation of a comedy show.
If it's in the art, like if it's a sketch and this is meant to be the art and it's an attempt at making people laugh, I think yours have a level of protection. Like, it doesn't have to be good. It just has to be like an attempt. You know, you don't have to like it. If you don't like it, you can fucking downvote that shit and then never watch it again. And I think that's like the thing. But I'm just saying, to bring it back to the original point, I just like, you know, people like academics, people like Rory and Mal and Joe Buttons posture as if they have like insider information. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it's like and sometimes they do, but that's the part of it, is like they literally can just make shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it's like there needs to be some sort of like accountability held for like people who make shit up, because it's like it ruins the whole experience. Like, if academics knows, because you know what it is, I don't believe him. I don't believe that Kendrick's not going to respond because Kanye is involved. That sounds, but you know what? Who am I? Who am I? And he's academics, so I'm going to shut up.
But it's also like, did Drake, like, is it like Drake hit up Kanye and said, yo, bro, I need you to make the Like That remix, bro? Like, I don't know if that conversation happened. I think Kanye, of his own accord, just jumped with the fuck into the mix.
Hey, Drake.
And why would all of a sudden Kendrick, who's allegedly the genius guy, master tactician, why is he going to be like, oh, Drake's off the hook now that Kanye's involved? That doesn't make no sense by any spectrum.
He also dared them to respond. Like his whole verse was like, say something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he's going to say something because he's been wanting them to say something. Since Control, he's been like, I'm here to murder rappers. Say something. Anybody. He called out all of his homies. He was like, Drake, fucking J. Cole, Big Sean. He's like, I don't care who you are. It's like you've been asking for this for years, and it's like now you don't want to do it because now you're not gonna do it because like Kanye
jumped in.
and like Kanye didn't even really jump in. Like his verse was like okay, the beat was like kind of better, but ultimately it's like,
crazy that.
What did he say? He didn't say anything.
No, he didn't say shit. The first couple of lines, and there's like maybe like a total of 4 lines in a 32-bar verse that are like, okay, that's a good line. But like, I tell you this, like about like 4 or 6 bars in, it's like, oh my God, this is like Kanye doesn't sound enthusiastic. Like when Kanye makes songs that like he's not enthusiastic about, I feel like you could tell. And the song comes out, man, because of that. You know what I mean? Versus like when Kanye's enthusiastic, it's like, you know, there's no fucking stopping how great this song could be because Kanye's gonna make sure it's great, like no matter what.
And I feel like Kanye just wanted to let people know that Drake is in business with what's his face. Like that was the whole purpose of the verse.
That was the whole
that's the main takeaway.
But like that's not like Drake's been saying Lucian's name in his music forever. It's like if you're paying attention to the actual bars, Drake been telling us this. So,
but even if he did, it's like, what is that? Like, are we supposed to like look down on him because he is friends or in business with a powerful like businessman? Like Kanye, if that was you, you would be bragging about it on your songs. By the way,
because he owns a company with him. So like, yeah, like,
and if that was Kanye, like, you would be like bragging about
business. It. Yeah, Kanye be bragging. Anybody else? Look, I've seen a lot of that like happening. Like somebody made a Twitter. You know, there's a lot of like tweets that are going viral right now, like the posts themselves. And like somebody made a post about like, as a Kendrick Lamar stan, I will admit, if the roles were reversed right now, and like fucking Drake had came out with, or you know what I mean, like. Kendrick had came out with 2 diss songs back to back and Kendrick still hadn't responded, people would be giving the business to Drake. You know what I mean? Like it'd be merciless right now online. Like if the roles were reversed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, and that's just one of those things where that's just the truth of the matter is that like he's dealing with an unfair game.
Well,
it's lopsided. It's 20v1. The rules are different for him than they are for everyone else, and you know.
But it's also because he's the champ.
But like,
yeah, he's a champ.
Like back in the day, right, when all these classic beefs were happening, and you know you had to wait for responses, and maybe somebody did some quick shit like jump on the radio, and then you know somebody else doesn't respond quickly. And then time passes. Is the conversation not similar? People are giving it to one person, then all of a sudden, whenever the next move happens, it reignites it, or
no? Because people, what happened is people would focus on the diss. They would get more burn. Like when you think about it, like these diss songs come out and then they're done. Like we spend like maybe a week on them, and then we're done talking about them. You know?
I'm not even gonna lie. I really like that Push Up song. It's like. For the first time in a long time,
really
I'm
good.
like, that shit.
I was listening to it this weekend too.
But when you think about the amount of records that were made in this span of time, from Rick Ross to Drake dropping several of them to like whatever, it's like we're not spending a lot of time like dissecting the song. You know what I'm saying? So like, fucking Cannabis and LL were beefing. Cannabis drops second round knockout. Like we sat around and went bar for bar through that song, talking about he said this, he said that, he said this, and then we did it for. Hey, now there's a cat in your stream.
That's Mona.
Hey Mona. So it's like people spent more time with the one song that came out, and then that sort of like gave time for the other song to come out. You know, then LL releases his like Rip the Jacker or whatever it was called, and then
As you're saying that, it makes me just go, but
Rip the
back in the
Jacker.
day, there wasn't
It's crazy that
necessarily
Rip the Jacker
genius,
won
right?
when second round knockout's a better song.
Yeah.
Sorry, Holden.
But like, there's no genius back then, right? Like, look, I was in the album review game. Like, you know, like when beef songs happen, you want to drop your song review where you literally comb through it line by line within 48 hours. Because if you were past 48 hours, bro, don't even bother. You've already missed the run. But by then, everybody and their brother who cares has watched like 10 hours worth of reaction content. And like, so basically you have 6 months worth of the conversations y'all used to have in a weekend by yourself smoking weed. And
Yeah.
it isn't like there's less appreciation given to the song. It's that we now have tools and resources to honestly catch shit a lot faster and a lot more efficiently. Whereas back in the day, my understanding is y'all just had your ears, which hurt.
It's a little bit of that, but it's also like the process has been streamlined. You know, like Holden, you play video games, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So look at it like this. Previously, if you got like the new God of War game and you were playing it, right, there's no place to go to hear other people talking about like the secrets or the Easter eggs or whatever. So you're just playing this game for months, like going through it. And then you might stumble across a magazine that has an Easter egg in it every once in a while and be like, oh, word, I didn't even catch that, right? But now that process is streamlined. So as soon as the game comes out, there's a video on YouTube that's like all Easter eggs in God of War. And then you watch that video, and to your point, like 6 months of an experience that you would have with this game is gone in like in 20 minutes.
A 20-minute video.
Right. I got the new God of War game, and I was watching videos before I got it. I was watching videos online. Did you play God of War? Anybody?
I didn't, but because of the internet, I can follow what you're saying because
So,
I watched all this content.
But I'll tell you something that happened to me. An experience I had is there's like a big twist and reveal in the middle of the game, and I saw it on the internet. And I'm not one for spoilers. I don't really give a fuck about spoilers. But that was the one time that like I spoiled something for myself that I wish I hadn't. You know what I'm saying? Because like now my playthrough through this whole game is knowing the twist. Like from the moment I put it on, I'm like, oh, that's not what it looks. That's not what it seems to be. So when it comes to the twist, it's like already a foregone conclusion, and I'll never have the experience of like being like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. Like, you know, and I feel like battle rapping or these battles is kind of like that, because like there's so many other people explaining the bars to us that we're not figuring them out for ourselves, and like, you know, it's a less personally engaging process. Now it's more like passively engaging. Now it's like someone's telling you, when Drake said this is what he meant, and this is what he's a reference to, and you're getting the information instead of like figuring it out yourself.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to touch
to be
into
fair though,
something.
to be fair though, a lot of the stuff like that, like I told people, like I would have never gotten that Whitney bar because I don't care enough to know that Kendrick's girlfriend or wife is named Whitney. You know what I mean? Like, so I would have never ever caught that. So like, I'm cool with getting that information because like, there's no way I'm ever getting that because I'm never going to be on Kendrick Lamar's Instagram or like be up in his business that much to know that his wife's name is Whitney. So when the internet informs me, I kind of appreciate it because.
But you might have gotten it years from now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the different experience.
When he 50 and he turned it. And his wife and it's like a bigger celebration of his wife, and it's like Kendrick and Whitney, and I'm like boom, like my brain is like, brain is like, oh my god,
that's a good point.
Oh,
and that's what the experience used to be, right? Like, you know, Jay-Z, me and the boy AI got more in common than Ballin' and Rhyming. Years go by, and it's some. Right, and you're like, oh, I didn't know he was talking about that.
And then I knew what he was talking about because other people told me. Right. And then when I see Carmen on Vlad TV, it's like, oh, You got more in common than more me, you know?
But
Yeah.
I think that's what also, like, to Baxter's point earlier, somebody somewhere along the way would have brought it up in a different, like, setting. So like, there's just more of an organic experience, and there is a surprise to it, right? Like, I feel like I go through it a lot with songs from my childhood, especially because when I was like 12, I was listening to things like Jay-Z and DMX, and I had no idea what any of it meant. And then I'll hear it again as an adult with like context, and I'm like, oh, but yeah, 12-year-old
Right.
me, I didn't know nothing. So I just heard it at a very superficial, what the words said value. And even then, maybe not even understanding what half of the shit meant because you're young and not in New York. And then you grow up, and it's kind of fun to like go back and discover what like you didn't know or what you thought you knew.
Right.
And that is
Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt album is like that, where like a lot of people, the older that they get, the more that they start like, oh wow, now I've gotten to this actual more adulthood point in my life, and I understand what Jay-Z is talking about more, you know? And yeah, that's definitely like a. Yeah.
Before I forget, Chris had said in the comments, yeah, because I didn't want to forget it was relevant. Chris had brought up the streamers are kind of, and people like the YouTubers are getting early access to games and things like that too. And I guarantee you that in the music media world, people are getting release copies of a lot of songs, because I get release copies of shit, and I haven't even released an album review in 2 years. Every fucking week, somebody sends me a release copy of something.
Drop and Give Me 50 came out like that. It didn't come out through Drake's account first.
These things get leaked, yeah.
Yeah, things get leaked.
But with that, it's people get the chance from these same positions, the video game reviewers, the streamers, they have time, and it's almost their job to sit there with it and figure it out, so that the day the song comes out, they've got the answers for you, and it's set up in this way to make it, which all of that I don't think was really the same back in the day. I don't know, maybe people got advanced copies of albums, but it was a little less unable to like drop everything the exact same day things came out within 12 hours of release with a fully edited video ready to go type of level of streamlined. Yeah. To say the
let's move on to the next, because I feel like we've been on this one. There's more news about it, right? The Tupac Estate sends a cease and desist to Drake for the tailor-made freestyle. And the tailor-made freestyle got removed he removed it from his page. I mean, there's the thing though, like, that was really silly to me. One, apparently, if you look it up, the Tupac Estate, which I asked this was the first thing that I asked, right? Because Tupac don't got no kids. So ain't no children, right, running Tupac Estate. We know that his mother passed away. Rest in peace, Afeni Shakur, right? And that's who, like, I care about running his estate, you know? Like, I don't got nothing against Mopreme Shakur, his brother, right? Or his dad, but, like, those didn't seem like the closest people. And apparently, they are not the men running his estate. They also Mopreme doesn't approve of the AI use of Tupac, and he's on Art of Dialogue talking about that. And you know, but he doesn't run it. It's some white dude who runs the Tupac Estate. So like everybody who's like wildly happy is like, yo, you're happy for like some wealthy white guy to like, you know, have removed or gotten Drake to, and also like, let's be clear about what this means, right? That was just a cease and desist is like yo, I might sue. It's not actually suing. You know what I mean? Like for the people, like in basic lingo, for the people who don't understand, a cease and desist is not like, you know,
right. It's a
I'm
warning.
suing you. It's a warning that I might sue you. You know,
but it's okay. But to be fair, it's a warning that I might sue you if you keep doing this particular thing, which in this case would be leaving the song up. So,
right,
it's a warning shot.
But like, it's crazy because like people were getting happy and they were talking about it as if though, like I saw a lot of posts like, oh, Kendrick, you know, Kendrick fucking stands going crazy, and they're like, "Oh, Kendrick got 2 diss songs removed. They've deleted 2 diss songs." It's like it's not the same
I
thing as
saw
the
that
J. Cole
exact
thing.
post.
Like this is not the same thing as the J. Cole thing. Drake removed a song from his IG. It's not like he removed it from the internet because he never put it up on the internet like that. It was never on streaming. It was just on his IG. And it's not like he removed Drop and Give It 50, and it's not like he's sorry for anything. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same thing in any way, form, or fashion, I feel. You know what I mean?
Also, like, because I've had people come at me, like the homie Forever Preach. I don't know if he's in the chat, but he was all like, "It's deaded, game over, Drake lost, he had to remove his song." And I was like, I humbly disagree with your assessment of this, but it's based a lot on what you think is right.
Shouts to Preach, though.
Shouts out. No, that guy's wildly passionate. I may not agree with all of his opinions, but dead ass, he's coming from a valid perspective. And if your rule set is based on a certain moral principle, you will see this as Drake getting checkmated by like the West Coast or some shit like that. I'm paraphrasing, so don't nobody quote me on him saying it, but I'm just giving an example. But like, because there is you just said
I would have to highly disagree.
People have already posted how, like, yo, him getting these diss tracks removed is a W. And if you look online, you have this one line of thinking that really believes that right now Kendrick is somehow dominating through silence because his silence is intimidating people into making moves. And, like, they really, in the core of their beliefs, this is what they see as a W. And then simultaneously, where I'm more on this side, Drake's constant trolling over Instagram is hilarious. Thus, he's winning. Yeah. Because I'm entertained.
You know what it is too? It's like people love to call it. You know, like even with the NBA Finals is happening now, they'll be like Lakers in 7 or Lakers in 5, and it's
I saw somebody in my timeline yesterday that Brian Devon, who has his own show. I want to have him guest on our show one day. Him and me argue on Facebook incessantly. You know what I mean? But like he's a LeBron hater, but like those people are going to do that. You know what I mean? If you're a LeBron hater, you're going to be like, yo, the Lakers are gonna get swept. He's about to lose it all.
But even beyond that, they like to call it like by the game. Like they're gonna get swept in this many games. And it's like it's as likely as it is unlikely. And you know what I'm saying? It's like and it's also like that's what you want to happen. You know what I'm saying? And it's like people are like, oh, Kendrick won. It's like, yeah, that's what you want to happen. You know? It'd be interesting. I would like if a Drake fan was like, oh, Kendrick won, that would be interesting, right? But it's like you're a Kendrick fan and you think Kendrick won.
No, here's the thing. There are Drake fans that feel Kendrick won somehow because Drake's responses weren't adequate enough, because then there's the preference side. I've literally seen people, I've seen this opinion from Drake fans based on the overall tone where they happen to really like that more and feel that the impact of it was stronger than what Drake's done. And it's a rare opinion, but it definitely is out there in the lexicon of Drake fans.
When I say Drake fans, I mean like the people who are rooting for Drake on top of him. But, you know, whatever.
But those ones are rooting for Drake, and they're disappointed by Drake in this moment because the AI thing was whack or XYZ. Like, they feel like however they feel about it. Whereas
the AI thing was hilarious.
The AI thing was brilliant. Kendrick went there first. Drake followed it up.
I don't know about brilliant. I think hilarious.
I thought it was brilliant.
But what?
It was a big. It made me feel proud as a Canadian.
I think the better word. I think the best word to use for it is it's pioneering, right?
Yeah.
Like
okay, I'll settle for that.
It's the beginning. It's the beginning. Impactful use of AI in music officially. There's been other AI. It didn't matter before because it's not one of our pop music icons doing it and using it. Now we got a pop music icon, like, you know, it's like when, you know, not Cyndi Lauper, who was the white girl in the 80s with Fat Five Freddy and like
Blondie,
Rapture's Delight, Blondie.
Debbie Harry.
I mean? Like oh, Blondie's here. Like, you know, now it's official. You know, there's a pop star agreeing, you know, having a rap in their song, and like
Also, shout out to
it's-
Blondie. I'm positive she was freestyling on that song.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm pretty
positive
sure.
she was too. She was really down with the culture, is my understanding, and that was not
Yo.
random. She wanted to be around the rappers. She loved the shit.
Nah, yeah.
She was like, and he keeps on eating cars. I was like, that's a freestyle. He goes out the bars, he eats the cars. I was like, she's fucking freestyling. The reason I don't think it was brilliant.
Point being, I think it's pioneering.
It is.
The brilliance is arguable. The entertainment factor is there. I
meant
think
like the
we can all
move
agree.
is brilliant
And
more
the
than
move itself is
the move is brilliant to me.
pioneering.
I think it's a parlor trick. That's why I don't think it's brilliant. I think AI is kind of gimmicky, right? But it is pioneering because no one's done it before, and the way that he did it is creative. But I stopped short of calling it brilliant because like it doesn't really take anything on his part to like he wrote 3 verses, which he does all the time. 2 of them are in the perspective of Snoop Dogg and Tupac, which is creative but not like mind blowing past anything we've seen other people do. And then this technology tweaked his voice to sound like the people he was doing it for, which like is pioneering. But I don't see brilliance because like it isn't like pushing the boundaries of what we think is possible with this technology. It's doing what we are afraid of doing with this technology. I just want to throw this real quick. Another interesting thing I wonder about AI is if AI can do this, like, are ghostwriters basically just going to start rapping for people? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if as a ghostwriter, I can go in the studio, I could write the rap, I could rap the rap, and then technology could just make it sound like you. Like you don't even have to go in there and rap the rap.
I mean, I don't think that it will, but I think that you know what? You know what? I take that back. Because I could see myself if I was a Drake or a Jay-Z, right? Or anybody, right? Tory Lanez, Kanye. Let's were to say I get Rhyme Fest or somebody who knows how to use my voice in their writing. And they go and they lay it down. And the AI is so good that it fools me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go in and I try to do what you did, but it don't sound the same.
Right.
I could easily see me being like, just let it fly. Let it fly with this version, with the AI. Let it fly.
As long as it sounds like me.
I don't care. As long as it sounds like me and I'm even fooled and I'm getting 100% of this record and I don't have to give up any points to the AI software creator people, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Now, even then, I might be willing to give up 1 point. You know what I mean? It's when we get into the 5 points that it's like,
yeah. Yo, you know who could use AI to its fullest extent? Jennifer Lopez, yo. She fucking gets other chicks to sing her shit already. So if you get other chicks to sing and then tweak it to it's just your voice, she got a career resurgence.
Yeah, nah, she don't. You see her taking the L online right now.
I think the only thing that's gonna really impact this whole AI use is copyright law. I think Drake got away with it because it was not really released properly. Because you can sue people for using your likeness for commercial gain. It might not be on the songwriting point of view, but your likeness is still protected intellectual property. That could be. Somebody can't just take your image, whoever you are watching this, and make an ad out of you.
Right, but Tupac's image isn't involved, like the sound of his voice, and that's the funny thing, because there's no laws against sounding like someone. Because if there was, like Shine and Gravy could have been in trouble for sounding like Biggie. You know what I'm saying? You could get comedians could sue other comedians if they say yo, when you're telling jokes, you're sounding like me, But
there's ways around. I'll tell you this much, yo. Drake got away with it the way an old school DJ will, though, right? Essentially, Drake made his money. He got millions of people to go to his page to listen to that Taylor Made freestyle on IG. And he made money off that. The same way Shannon Sharpe made money off of everybody going to that Cat Williams interview, that many clicks being driven. Like, believe that Drake made money on that post, and then to just take it down, like, I already made my money. You know what I mean?
Facts.
It's like an old school DJ where it's like, oh, the label's like, yo, cease and desist. You don't have, and it's like, I already made my money in the streets, bro. I already sold this mixtape to 20 different distributors across the East Coast line, and like for 50 grand a piece for each of them to like make their own copies. I already made my money. Like, you could go ahead and cease and desist me all you want. I'll stop according to you, because I already made my money.
And
so,
also,
like, Drake made his money off that post, because I know I've never, I fuck with Drake. I'm a Drake fan, but I don't follow him. I don't follow him on no social media. I've never gone to his page for shit. I've never commented on Drake's page for shit. You know what I mean? But that tailor-made freestyle made me go to his page and made me drop some fire emojis. Like, holy shit, I can't believe this. You know what I mean?
And it has to still exist on the internet, right? Like, people have already like got it. Yeah.
That's the other thing that I was like laughing at, because I saw people like that word talking, a lot of the like older people that I saw talking about like, oh, this is a win for Kendrick. He got Drake to remove it. I'm like, bro, it's not a win. There's already 20 versions of the same. Like, they got the Motown version of the tailor-made freestyle. You know what I mean? So it's
that
like
Motown
not even Drake. It's some like Motown sounding singer singing, dropping Give Me 50 and tailor-made freestyle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, that's what's happening now. It's like people are having fun with it. And that's what happens with the internet. Like, that's why I don't understand why people do shit like that, because like, that's what I said when it happened, right? Like, the cease and desist doesn't matter. Once your nudes hit the internet, bro, they are here forever. It's a wrap. We all know how you look naked, and fairness, you cannot hide it. It's gonna get shared again online
to find shit like that.
Nah.
And I don't.
Holden, you're talking about from you. You're talking about for you searching. I'm talking about it will exist forever.
That's facts.
There are people on and there's fucking thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people all across the world that are internet hoarders. And literally what their job is to store shit and then share shit, and purposely the shit that is not, what? You telling me this is not to be shared? Now we're absolutely going to share it. Even more. What?
Sonny and share it.
Sonny and share it. God damn it.
So
you cannot stop
AI is going to be able to track that shit at another level, because already DMCAs have gotten to a much bigger extent at removing a lot of content, and you almost have to go to the dark web and other places to find certain things. So I'm not denying it won't
also
be there, but it'll be.
You don't
way
even
less
have to go to the dark web. You just got to be. You know what it is, bro? It's literally like New York City. You have to be in the in crowd to know. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to be in the in crowd. You got to know the people. That's the same thing that like. There's a couple people that I know that when I hear that there's a leak, I go directly to them. Like when I heard that Kanye's Yandi album leaked online, I went to this person and they had it. You know what I'm saying? Like there are people literally like that. That's there, and there's no. They're not on the dark web. I went to that motherfucker's Facebook and he sent me a fucking Google Drive link. You know what I mean? Like that's it. That's all it is. It's just personalized. And now, but everybody you still have it, and it's still traveling the internet. It's in inboxes, in DMs, in emails. That's where it's at. You know, and you just got to be in the crowd to know it and know those people who have it.
Fair.
And that's it. But there's a bunch of people like
not
that.
in the find leaked content crowd group. I've put very little effort into building that network, but. That's I guess what I was saying.
I definitely have a lot of people like that in my circle.
It's less mainstream, but I see what you're saying. It's still there for people who want to get it.
Yeah, for sure. Let's move on to a couple more topics so we can cover a couple more things that are not fucking, you know, we don't got 2 episodes in a row of nothing but Drake beef and shit. Amanda Seales, I was curious. I was fucking super curious to know if you fucking watched or Amanda Seales goes on Shannon Sharpe show. Hard stop. That's the title of this of what we're discussing now. My opinion, what I seen online, she does not get the same reception that Cat Williams and Monique got. Though I will say I see a contingent of people coming to her defense because she doesn't have the same defense and love that those two previously named people got, going up to Shannon Sharpe and essentially doing the same exact fucking thing, right? Because what I don't like about all these interviews is it seems to be a lack of accountability on the person's part. You know what I mean? Like it's just Cat being like, "Oh, I got passed up because I want to suck dick," and Ludacris went and sucked dick, and Kevin Hart is an industry plant, and I'm not an industry plant or a dick sucker, so that's why I didn't get on. And it's just like maybe you didn't get on because of this right here, sir. You know what I mean? People didn't want to be around
because of all of this.
All of this right here. You know, and then Monique, same thing, right? Like, oh, this person did me wrong, that person did me wrong, my son did me wrong. And it's like, ma'am, you're the mother in this situation. Like, what? And the way that you're reacting afterwards, we know you did wrong. And so I just feel like the Amanda Seales thing continues in the spirit of like lack of accountability, you know? She's a beautiful, smart black woman. I don't ever want to see the demise of a black woman. I think that she's gonna be fine. She has been fine all this time.
I just Googled her quickly as you were talking about this because I'm like, I don't know who the fuck she is. But everyone's mad at Shay Shay for this interview, is what I'm seeing, because he behaved very dismissively with her instead of giving her the same freedom to speak her mind. Apparently, she started off the interview telling me he has autism, and the first thing he does is goes, just because you have special gifts doesn't mean you need a clinical diagnosis. And it went downhill from there in the eyes of her fans. So I think she's going to be real fine. I think this gained her fans. 100%. Maybe.
I'm going to throw some things at you guys. Amanda Seales. Well, first, I'm going to... So my biases are understood. Amanda Seales was real big in the New York City scene. She was like one of those people who was famous enough to be on TV around famous people, but not famous enough that you wouldn't run into her in the streets.
Right.
And then sometimes those people are like the most infuriating, because since they hang around famous people, they have this idea that they should be treated like the famous people. So when they're around people who aren't the famous people, they carry themselves a certain way. Now, everything I'm saying is like gossipy fucking, also like ancient history. Everyone that I knew that knew Amanda Seales or had a run-in with her had nothing but a negative story about it. They was like, oh, Amanda Seales, this is what she did to me. Oh, Amanda Seales, this is what happened when I ran into her, right? Like, when I tell you, like, every single one of my friends, and, like, more than 10, more than, like, 15, like, you know, people would run into her. My personal Amanda Seales beef story is there was this artist who was, like, pretty big in the New York City underground. They eventually like signed to a label or whatever like that. The name of the artist doesn't matter, but they were doing a show at SOBs and they were on stage and they were rapping. And then Amanda Seales was in the crowd and she was like, who's this nigga on stage rapping? Like tomatoes. And then she hashtagged it NiggaFest 3000 or something like that. So then all of this person's fans was like, yo, you are artists. How you gonna like, you know, shit on other artists like doing their things, you know what I'm saying? And then this person was a friend of mine, so I was like, who's this nigga on stage rapping? That's what they were saying at them Floetry concerts. And then she blocked me. I also told her, anyway, she told me to fall back and I told her to fall forward and then she blocked me. But to say she was not leaving a good taste in people's mouths that she met. She then left New York City after a while, moved all the way to LA. Things started popping for her when she got to LA. She got on Insecure, like she was getting other looks. And now it seems as if, miraculously, people that meet her out there are not walking away with a good taste in their mouths from the experience, right? So there is a common denominator in this thing about people running into Amanda Seales and not necessarily liking the experience. And I just want to throw that context and my personal bias in there. With that said, I started watching this interview. I didn't finish watching the interview. Amanda Seales, I think, is fascinating. One, she is talented. She is beautiful. She is intelligent, right? Like, not taking any of those things away from her. Right, you know what I'm saying? Like she's a smart woman who knows what she's talking about. As
soon as she opens her mouth, you can tell she is a smart, and I don't mean smart in a educated way, right? Like she is educated, but like there's a difference between having an education and knowing how to put that education to use.
But it's it's also as soon as she opens her mouth, you know that she's educated, and you know that she knows that she's educated. You know what I'm saying? And that's
where the smart part comes in, because it's not just intelligence, right? That's smart. It's being able to think on your feet and adapt, and having having a way to use all the talents that you have.
But also, I think she thinks highly of herself in a way that makes other people feel invalidated, or maybe not invalidated, or feel like that she's like.
I think she talks in a way that makes
it's abrasive.
Some people feel offended.
Right.
But I talk in a way that makes people feel offended. So I know
Flacco does talk in a way that makes people feel offended.
But Flacco, you also talk in a way that makes people feel like included, that makes people feel like cared for, that makes people feel like seen. So it's not just that. Like you're a New Yorker. She even mentions in her interview, she's like, when I got to New York, I felt like, oh, I've always been here because people talk how I talk. And I'm like, yes, exactly. But there comes a point in your life where you have to like, the common denominator in all of my experiences is me, and there's something going on that like leaving people feeling not great for the experience. You know what I'm saying? And somebody was pointing out in all her stories in the thing, it's like, oh, it was the teacher's fault, it was Issa's fault, it was this person's fault, it was this person's fault. It's never like like I'll put it to you like this. A lack of accountability. I'll put it to you like this. Even in the interview, she's telling a story. She talks about her possible autism and the diagnosis. And she talks about not being able to read social cues. And she's like, yo, there's been times in my life where like I didn't even know I was in a fight until I got punched in the face, where I'm like hanging out with someone and they're like, let's go outside. And I'm like, all right, you want to tell me something? And I go outside and I get punched in the face. And I'm like, oh, whoa, right? And then after that, she has to like let you know, I won both of those fights though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she can't let herself be looked bad in any aspect. She can't admit that like someone got the better of her. She can't admit that like she was unprepared or unaware. Like she's
very rapperish, by the way. You know?
Right, but she's so
very 90s rapperish, where it's like I'm infallible and like everything I do is perfect. You know, very 60s DC comic book superhero. You know what I mean? Like
she's so invested.
Superman.
Right, she's so invested in her positive qualities and blind to like her negative qualities, you know? And it's like it's just and I will tell you this, regardless of my bias and stuff, when I was watching the interview, like I found myself sort of like not relating to, but like sympathizing and empathizing with her. Like I really hope Amanda Seales one day like gets to a point where she
together.
Yeah, you know, because she is all the things that she thinks she is, but she's also like something else that she's not willing to admit, you know?
Right.
Oh, and lastly, I'm tired of fucking Club Shay Shay getting messy people. Like they look like they're looking.
No, that's mess center now. You know what I mean? Like that's mess center.
Trendy Williams.
I think that. Yeah, exactly. I think that
that's what people
you know who I think I hope she ends up being like? I hope she ends up being like Ari Spears. Or like Ari Spears, when I hear him now talk, he takes more accountability for his own shit and like owns up.
He was humble.
Yeah, you know, because he got punched in the face, you know? And that definitely came after, right? Because I definitely remember seeing him every time he went up to the Breakfast Club, right? and several places that he went up to, and but the Breakfast Club in particular, and like he didn't get humbled until after he got punched in the face on that radio show. There was another comedian, Corey Holcomb's radio show. Not by Corey Holcomb, but by one of his co-hosts. But yeah, the point is, he did get humbled, and now he definitely has more of a humbled energy and admits, like, but maybe it was me.
Ari Spears is another one of those people that like he is funny and talented, but he's also something else, and that other thing he doesn't realize. Like he's unhappy, and when he talks about people and he says things, he comes off not like unhappy, not intending to be a hater, but being a hater.
But definitely a hater. Definitely. Definitely all the. I tell you this, what I think you're speaking of, right? And let's put like a thing to it. Like, to me, I find it like. Did you see the recent Breakfast Club interview? Are we talking about the same thing that
Ari Spears
did? Yeah.
No, I didn't see it.
Okay.
But I've seen a lot of Ari Spears interviews.
He recently it was up there, and he was talking about still talking about Key and Peele, and realizing that was a fuck up in his career, but then also like still reinforcing,
doubling down
all those stereotypes, right? Like, oh, we all know that what that means. You're not part of the culture. Like you're not. That's not black. And it's like, what the fuck is black, bro? Stop that, and don't and stop saying it like, nah. We all know what we mean, and it's like, yeah, I know what you mean, but that shit also is toxic. It's fucked up,
and it's wrong because
the fucked up shit in our culture of like labeling it where it's just like, nah, but that's not black. Like, what's not black? Like, if that's a black man doing it, that's black too. You know what I'm saying?
And also, being black is not a monolithic experience. There's so many different experiences with it. Exactly. And also, the people you saying that isn't black, like fucking Jordan Peele created one of the fucking most powerful pieces of art for the black experience in the last few years. And like, Ari Spears, what have you done? Mad TV? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you took more care, if you took less effort or energy to invalidate Key and Peele, and more care and sort of like speaking life into people, like pointing out the positives in people, like you might be on a different trajectory. It's a fascinating Ari Spears like anecdote. He was on a podcast before, like some years ago. It was Neil Brennan had a podcast where he was talking to him, and like, it's like, you ever hear somebody be so honest with someone and they accept it, but they don't internalize it. So Neil was like, yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, like, yo, I think you should have been made it, but you know why you haven't made it? It's because you don't look like a leading man. Like, you don't work out, you like are getting overweight, and you look horrible. Like, he didn't say horrible, but he was like, the look that you
Ari Spears is not what I would refer to, right? Like, I have no problem referring to other men as handsome men.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's a handsome guy. Ari Spears is not what I would say, hey, that's a handsome guy. You know what I mean?
But
it's all those things, and he doesn't take care of himself, right? The raccoon eyes and you know what I'm saying? Like,
but it's more to the fact of, it's also more to the fact of like, you're not investing enough in yourself to like be to the next level, and then you also have the nerve to like criticize other people, because it's like Ari Spears, like, people know you and people would invest in you. Like, look at the Kevin Hart, right? Kevin Hart is funny, right? But Kevin Hart also works out. Kevin Hart also keeps himself looking a certain way. Like, Cat Williams like keeps himself looking a certain way, and it's
crazy energy too.
Cat Williams, I tell you this, Cat Williams even, right? Because he applies to everything we're saying about Aries too. Like, a lot of the things that he feels about with Kevin were like things like the reason that he was supposed to be in Fool's Gold, but Kevin Hart was the one that ended up in Fool's Gold, right? Was because Kevin Hart, because they had to go shoot it in Australia, and Cat Williams had felonies. So it's like, this is your own fault, bro.
Right.
You're not being overlooked. You underserved yourself, sir.
You're not
So,
prepared for the opportunity.
You're not prepared for the opportunity. And then years go by and Hollywood sees you on the ground fighting with little kids. You know what I mean? And sweating
happen.
profusely in videos. You know what I mean? Rolling around the ground with teenagers, fighting teenagers, and looking like you're definitely on drugs. Hollywood doesn't want to invest. Nobody wants to invest in that. You know what I mean? Like it's different than like, in order to be that guy, you got to be Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and you have to have already made it. You know what I mean?
But I'll give Cat Williams respect because what he does do is tour and write jokes and is funny as fuck.
He's got huge tours.
And up until and also he puts mad people on, and up until this Shay Shay interview, you didn't really hear him. Well, I can't really say you didn't really hear him talking about people because he did talk about Kevin Hart.
He always talking about Kevin.
Right.
But like he's got a vendetta with Kevin.
But if you're gonna hate, you better be funny as fuck, yo.
Yeah, that's what it is
But
that
also,
he has.
like,
Is that he is funny as fuck.
Successful
Still.
in a way
he's
that's
successful in being
empirically
funny.
Because he's funny. Cat Williams,
He's funny.
He's the Kanye West of comedy in the fact that he might wild out, but if you put him on the stage, he's gonna do what the fuck you paid to see. Like, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Kanye West is wilding out.
One of the Cat Williams is definitely a part of the modern day greats of stand up. You know what I mean? Like, I'd probably fucking say that it's like Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, and fucking somebody else up in there, by like Bill Burr, or fucking some shit like that. But
would have been Louis C.K.
Would have been if he didn't fucking drop the ball and be a weirdo. Like,
pull out the ball.
What?
It was just not a good story. Like all of it was just anyway.
I mean, let's get back to the story, right? Yeah. Amanda Seales. I think regardless of what we all think, right? It is good press for her.
Yeah.
I think it is a situation of like, you know, bad press is good press, or like any press is good press, because Shannon Sharpe is so on fire and it's fucking trendy Williams, messy fucking messy central, that people are paying attention. It's a good look for her to go down in that like roster of guests that have been up there since the Cat Williams thing, and adding to this messy, ness, and like it is a viral moment again. Like, people are talking about this interview online. I don't know how many interviews he's done since Cat Williams. I'm assuming every week, right? I don't know if it's multiple times in the week, but the point is, the only names that I'm caring about and talking about are Kat, Monique, Amanda now. You know what I mean? And like, so she gets to go in that like roster of like, oh, these things happened in 2023, 2024.
The one thing that I am concerned for her about is I follow this Sean Penn. Do you know who Sean Penn is, Flacco?
Mm-hmm. The actor, right?
No, not sorry. Not that Sean Penn. He was he used to roll with like Biggie and Bad Boy. He was like an artist, but he also was like, yeah.
Oh, you talking about Lil Sean?
Yes, right.
Dom Perignon.
Yeah.
I was just playing that song.
So I follow him on Instagram, and like he always gives like very poignant insights about like things.
I've never seen his IG, but I saw one of my favorite all-time Drink Champs episode, top 5, is his episode.
Yeah.
He gave stories about Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie that I've never heard before, and I've never heard again since his interview.
And he has a lot of philosophies about like when to speak and when not to speak, and like what stories you're actually allowed to tell. Like, just because you were in a room doesn't mean that that's your story to tell, or blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. But his point in the Amanda Seales interview was like, he's like, in this business, when you talk about somebody that other people like, you invite the people that like that person to now be your enemy, whether or not like you meant it to be whatever. So like he's not saying the name, but like her sort of like calling out Issa Rae when Issa Rae is kind of like one of the like top people.
Premier black
Right.
women in Hollywood right now who is getting opportunities. I would say Tiffany Haddish and Issa Rae and Ava DuVernay are like
And
the three
Quinta.
like and Quinta are like that's the
Yeah,
whatever monument.
there's a few of them because even
Mount
homegirl,
Rushmore.
I forget her name, the lesbian chick that was in the Aziz Ansari show.
Yeah, you're talking about the one that did Chicago, right?
Right. But
right.
there are certain people.
I
who
think
are,
there's levels to this shit, and those four are probably the top dogs. And like Hollywood's giving these black women preference before even getting to her. We apologize for not including your name.
But my point is like, so if Issa is like golden, and even these women we're talking about, like let's say they're friends with Issa, or they just like Issa, or they support Issa. Now you're sort of like positioning yourself as like Issa's enemy.
Yeah,
And that closes opportunities possibly. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I don't know enough to say that will and won't happen, but I do think it's something that Amanda Shields should take a care about.
I don't think a lot of people have any understanding of like the bigger PR consequences of this instant virality. I think people are being blindsided by relevance, and there's a good chance that being on this show and saying everything here is going to, in the short term, make her more money than she was previously making, because that's the end result of this type of thing with the immediate press. But what you're saying is valid, because you don't know who's going to get offended, big picture. If you talk wild shit, you don't know who was friends with what executive and things like that, especially if you're going at... It's like if I were to really... I probably won't diss Drake on this show ever. It would just not be in my best interest in Canada to diss the top guy in Canada with all of the connections he has in other cities and shit. Like,
Holden, why do you hate Drake so much?
You know, like, it doesn't make no sense.
Let me say something real quick. I think that this is one of those situations where I try to explain blackballing to people all the time, and they don't get it, right? And it's exactly what Baxter was just saying, Sean Penn said, right? Which is like, yo, Jay-Z didn't blackball anybody. You blackballed yourself by going against Jay-Z, who has so many relationships in this industry. And all those people who have relationships with Jay-Z are now like, Jay-Z don't like him, I don't like him. You know what I mean? And that's it. It's not even, Jay-Z didn't make a phone call. Jay-Z didn't pick up his phone and be like, hey, I'm in beef with such and such. No, what for? He's that powerful that he just has a problem with someone and other people are aware. And when they become aware, they don't fuck with you because they fuck with Jay-Z and they fuck with him. And therefore now, because there might be a rumor of a beef with you, they don't fuck with you. Because they would never want Jay-Z to confuse their allegiance and their loyalty with disloyalty. So what do? I'm just standing with, and now that's people in the industry at radio. Angie Martinez got a great relationship with Jay-Z, right? I would think in my head, I'd be like, Angie Martinez loves Jay-Z. If she's gonna fucking love Jay-Z, you know what I mean? If she loves Jay-Z, I'm pretty sure whatever platform she's on, she's not gonna really give to like Jay-Z haters. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's not gonna bring up Dame Dash. She's not gonna be like, hey Dame, come, let's talk about Jay. Let's talk shit about Jay. No, she's just gonna ignore him. It's not even like it's a non-verbal thing that ends up happening. People don't even, nothing, no phone calls get made, nothing. It's just everybody knows to move in accordance. That's how I am. We were at the studio talking about somebody I stopped being friends with, and immediately Jess and me hadn't been talking for years, and immediately I sensed Jess's aggression towards the name that I was talking about. You know what I mean? Because why? Because loyalty, brotherhood, you know what I mean? And it's just that where it's just like, yo, you don't fuck with them no more? I hate that person now. You know what I mean? Say no more. Why? Because my loyalties lie with you. And that's what happens a lot of times. And so what he's saying makes perfect sense. And what you're saying, Holden, also makes sense. I was going to tie it into
Sorry, go
I
on.
was gonna tie it into the fact that I think that that's attributed to teams, and these people have publicists and social media teams that are young people, and young people are coming in with these ideologies of any press is good press. It doesn't matter because they're not looking at the long run of things because they're young. Young people tend to not think about the long run. You know what I mean? And what does end up happening is that, right? We're like, you're blackballing yourself by doing all this. Like Cat Williams was already good. Cat Williams has already said all the things that he said about maybe not all the things he said in that interview, but we already knew he disliked Kevin Hart. He had already talked shit about Kevin Hart on several other platforms. You know what I mean? He might have added Michael Blackson to the mix and a couple other names, right? But like for the most part, like it's all good. He's already had that, and he already has his network of stadiums that he knows he can sell out and venues that he sells out that he's going to sell tickets in, and he's good. He's got his own business. He's like Master P on his independent scale. You know what I mean? So it don't really matter to him. But like Monique and Amanda Seals, who are essentially looking for, you're in the industry of handouts. You're not in the industry of creating your own. You're in the industry of fucking going in reading
of getting hired,
role, of getting hired for a part. So when you're in that business, you shouldn't be making enemies. You should be very friendly person because you don't know who you're offending behind closed. And the web, it becomes literally 50 Cent versus Ja Rule, Fat Joe, The Lock. Like it becomes, oh, well, this guy's friends with this guy, and that guy's friends with that guy, and these guys all hang out together, and now you got beef with everybody. And you know what I mean? And Amanda Seals is essentially, and I think that it's because of, like I said, their teams or themselves having just forgotten, you know, and being so like hungry for the clout, you know, because if it's not a team and you're running your shit yourself and you're doing this to yourself, then it's just a case of like delusionment, detachment, and lack of accountability.
It's the thirst for attention. Still, like a lot of people are trying to be relevant. You tried 1,000 things. You're not getting what you're looking for. Club Shay Shay is like to ruin their careers on. But like, I just wanted to like add on to it all. Oh shit! Did y'all freeze?
I think we did. He just
okay. No, we were back.
Yeah, he just froze up.
Awesome.
But
I was just gonna just bring up one point though, because like I think that this isn't just like reserved to the world of artists, right? Like this is, or the celebrities, I would say. Go to your local office place and it's the same bullshit. They made the whole Office show based off of everything Flacko was describing with famous people. It's the same interpersonal stuff. If you talk wild shit about everyone, nobody's gonna want to work with you in your local scene. Nobody's gonna show up to your video shoot, and you're gonna be like by yourself, always looking like you're by yourself because you had the wrong attitude. And it's any genre of life, any community. That's just how it functions. And unfortunately, while everyone desires meritocracy, we live in a world of nepotism, and the best way to get hired at a job is through somebody that works at a company. Like, so if you be talking shit and you're not expanding your network, showing value in a positive way, you lower your ability to get into the rooms where you can showcase your talent. Because a lot of people are talented, but the personable ones move. And the ones that talk wild shit and complain, well, just people don't want to hang out with them.
Yeah. And then I think, especially with the Club Shay Shay interviews, like a lot of the people are coming, except Cat Williams. I think Cat Williams was just talking and whatever. But with Monique,
Cat was just being Cat, for sure.
With Monique and Amanda Seals, I think they were coming to vindicate themselves. Like they had things that they felt misunderstood, or they felt like they were done wrong, and they wanted to explain their side of the story and like have people be like, "Oh, that's what happened." But in any situation, like there's being like, if you value being right more than you value being what's the word? Like if you're in a relationship and it means more to you to be right than it does for the relationship to work, then the relationship's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like I feel like my perspective would be that like people like Amanda Seales and Monique need people to know that they were right. Like, why would you ever go on a podcast and talk about your relationship with your son at all? You know, your son's not famous. Nobody knows who this person is, but you need everyone else to know that you're in the right. You know, and it's like, yo, let that shit go and just like move.
Yeah, there's some all those type of moves. When I look at it, I'm like, that's how I judge your character. And you're showing me your lack of character, your lack of integrity, your lack of things like that are shit that is just like, you should know better. And if you don't know better yet, there's something wrong with you. And that's why that's why I say, like, when I see people online complaining about men or women because they were in a relationship with a man or a woman that did them dirty, and now they hate the opposite sex, there's something wrong with you. You're not looking in the mirror and taking accountability for yourself. Oh no, but they cheated on me. Okay, but you picked the person that would cheat on you. You know what I mean? Like there's always a amount of accountability that you should be taking on in the disillusion of a relationship, and taking on the victim mentality constantly in your life speaks towards your character in life. You're going to constantly play a victim in everything in your life. You're going to be a victim at your job, and your family, in your friend circles, in your you know what I mean? In your relationships, like you're always going to be playing this victim. When you go to do business, when you go shopping, and there's always somebody you're catching road rage. It's always but it's you. The thing that's at its
it's been accountability,
core, Yeah, accountability, and people lack that nowadays, big time. You know what I mean? Like when I look at my life, it's a lot of like me talking shit to myself, but I'm good. I'm glad with that. You know, like I'd rather look inward than look outward, because by looking inward, I've done nothing but improve myself and my life. You know what I mean? Like I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly getting to a better place because I'm constantly making myself accountable for the things happening in my life, instead of looking to like blame other people for the things happening to me. So like things aren't happening to me. Like I'm happening to life, and I'm making sure that by taking accountability for things. But if I'm letting constantly me be the victim of things, then I'm letting things happen to me. And now life is happening to me. I'm fucking life. This bitch getting fucking. All right, let's move on.
So the moral
before
of
I
the
get
story
explicit.
is Club
And
Shay
this gets
Shay's
into
the gossip
like a
channel,
90s.
and people gonna tank their careers.
Trendy
and
Williams.
Cat Williams.
No, I
Cat
mean,
Williams
tank their
did his
careers.
thing proper.
That's debatable. Cat Williams did it proper.
Okay.
We'll see where Monique and Amanda Seales end up in the long run of this situation.
I meant like big
I would
picture,
like to talk
15
about
years
Harvey Warren. I
Oh,
would
yeah,
like to
that's
talk
fair.
about Harvey Weinstein getting like acquitted. Wait, is that the
So I read
his conviction? His conviction was overturned.
on some
The
technicality
New York
shit.
State Court of Appeals overturned his conviction of sex crimes. From what I understand, the judge that overturned it feels like it was a dog pile, essentially. Like they had too much evidence. It was too many people. It was an unfair judgment upon Harvey. It was too many. One too many people came up for this judge. To which I'm like, that's crazy. It's crazy to me because Diddy right now is going through what essentially Bill and Harvey went through. But it's like there's even the people who talk shit about him, right? Like this girl recently was talking shit from Danity Kane. I forget her name.
Audrey Day. Audrey Day.
Audrey Day. Aubrey O'Day.
Yeah.
Aubrey O'Day or Audrey O'Day, something like that. But she's been talking about Diddy, talking shit about Diddy for years. She's salty about their like not being a part of his continuing business and him not continuing to fuck with her and not seeing star power in her.
I'll give her respect though, because she didn't sign the NDA when he was giving people their publishing back, but they had to sign the NDA. She was like, nah. Yeah. She's like, I'm gonna talk shit about you until you die.
Until you die.
So what is interesting is that Bill Cosby was in the 50s of accusations, and that was not too many for this law to get triggered. But the 80 number, because that's it. It's a technicality. Effectively, we've reached a threshold where so many people have come through that a jury is unable to have an impartial ruling on any of the individual cases because effectively it's a dog pile. So instead of trying a case that has 80 fucking people at once, they're going to just have to come at it more case by case or put it into batches. Or that's
I believe that's just called having a reputation. If 80 people accuse you of something, that's a reputation.
But you're not allowed to be a juror in American courts, as far as TV's taught me, and books, not just TV. But like if you have a preconceived notion about the person that's going on trial. So
listen,
in and of
we
itself,
were having a court case about if Derek Jeter played baseball or not, and 80 people was like, I seen that motherfucker play baseball. We can't just be like, you know what? Too many people are saying that they seen him play baseball for us to understand if he played baseball. You know what I'm saying? If you live a life,
right. I call bullshit. It's not 80 people that said Derek Jeter plays baseball. It's 120 people. That has
too many
bullshit.
people.
Too many.
Right.
40 too many. And it's just what? That's just more validity to the fact. You know what I mean? Like,
if you live a life where 80 people are accusing you of sexual misconduct, go to jail. You know what I'm saying?
And yet, the legal system of the United States of America has a loophole.
America,
if
fuck yeah.
80 people accuse you of a crime, it makes it impossible for the jury to be impartial judging the person.
Crazy.
I won't act like Canada don't got that shit. We probably do.
Listen, let me tell you something. Every fucking country, there's no same as human kind, like humans are not perfect. We are fucking imperfect creatures. We are fucking flawed. And so is everything else on fucking earth. You know what I mean? Like, so is every living thing, everything we've created is flawed. There's nothing perfect, you know? Even the things we think are perfect, we'll see. We'll see if 300,000 years from now, they're still standing like the fucking pyramids and shit. You know what I mean? We'll see if the pyramids are still standing. Maybe in another 500,000 years, the pyramids are no longer here. And it's like, yo, they hit their expiration date. You know what I'm saying? Right. And like, it's just like a mound. It don't even look like the pyramids no more. It looks like
they just found a pyramid that was like buried underground. I forget where though. But yeah, everything has.
Humans. I think are flawed in the super many ways, right? Like I think us space exploring is like, yo, the arrogance of man that we haven't even fully explored our own sea and our own planet, and we're already in space talking about, yo, let's take this over. Like, yo, come back here. Let's finish our assignment right here on Earth where we exist. Let's fully explore this thing.
I'm gonna throw
here.
This is not a unified perspectives. I'm all about the space, and we should push
I'm
space.
not against space. I just think that it's the arrogance of man that we still haven't fully explored Earth, and we don't know our own history as we could get in the ocean
before shit got too intense. We haven't figured out the tech yet. We're working on it. It's not like we abandoned the oceans. We just added the space in.
I've got no comment on space versus ocean. Middleman, I
got no horse in this race. You gotta go. I know.
I got it. Yeah. So
man,
if we want to get, let's get to the movie.
Cinematic perspectives. This is where we're going to talk about the trailers. We're going to share them with you. And if you're watching this on YouTube, it's cut out of the full episode of our perspectives. So I hope you enjoy. Let us get the first trailer up because it's not up yet.
Trailer going.
It's not there.
This is a movie? Was that EOW the movie?
That was Justice McFly, no?
Yeah, maybe. make it big.
So good.
Oh, good.
Anyone but him. I didn't approve him. You know that. You are literally the last person on earth I want to see slap the shit out of you. I really could.
And I'm open to that in a safer environment.
You've been a ghost. No phone call, no text.
It's not like I didn't want to apologize.
You don't have to explain anything. It was just a flame. So how have you been? God, I hate that thumbs up stunt guy stuff. I'm the director.
We're gonna set this man on fire.
You're a stunt guy. We need to keep it super profesh.
Profesh is my middle name.
You said your middle name was Danger.
How'd we do, boss? Really?
Yeah.
Holster that.
Yeah, it's holstered. It's done. Forget. You never saw it.
Tom Ryder, the biggest action star on the planet, is missing. You need to bring him back on. Jodie's movie is dead.
Why me?
You're a stuntman. Nobody's gonna notice you. That's your job. No offense.
I mean, some taken.
You find Ryder, save Jodie's film. You get the love of your life back.
I'm not the hero, I'm just the double. Not today, you're not. Tom, we really need you back on set, pal.
Yeah, I've been through this. You really be feeling like this.
Dead body on ice.
He was so dead, Gail. He was super dead.
He has got himself involved with some shady people.
I had no choice. I had to do some Jason Bourne shit. They were trying to kill me. And not in a fun way. You can make it, you can make it. You can't make it. It's too dangerous. Gotta be stairs. Okay.
What happened to your face? You look terrible.
You look amazing.
You fall down, you get right back up. How far would you go for the one that you love?
I'll buy you a drink when this is over. Engage your core. Yeah, boy! Stop! Let's do it later. Want to go to a beach somewhere?
Drink a spicy margarita.
Make some bad decisions.
Yes.
I gotta keep it 100. The dog getting a drink at the end, it gave it a whole bonus point. Just delivered on that promise for me.
Movie might be good. That trailer was
over.
horrible. Oh my god, I hated that trailer
Shot
so
through
much.
the heart.
It's like, yo, that's not even this. That's first of all, you're not even playing the song. It's just like endless loop of drums in that line, and it's like this is annoying as fuck. Second of all, I hate Ryan Gosling. Hate him so much. I got no reason to hate him. He's an
spoke
amazing.
about this before.
He's an amazing actor. He's been in some pretty phenomenal movies. He always gets the job done. Something about his face, I see it, and I'm like, I hate this guy. Also, like the trailer is walking us through the movie. Like we watched most of the movie.
The whole thing.
It's like
definitely.
it's like,
I feel like I know a majority of how it's gonna go.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, like they literally timeline. It's like, oh, hey, he's a stunt man. He's flirting with the director. They get together, but they got to keep it super profesh. Now the fucking lead star is missing.
Profesh is his middle name.
His middle name, Profesh Danger. Now the lead star is missing. Now they convince him to go see the lead star. Now he goes to the hotel room. He kicks open the hotel room. It's like, that's the movie.
Then the mob shows up.
Right. Then he's got to get away from those guys. He beats those guys up. Slow-mo scene in the club.
Then she's all concerned because she doesn't know what's going on. She's like, "You look horrible."
We know the whole movie.
He can't tell her. Right.
I feel like it's one of those movies that's like too big to fail, but like it'll fail in that. You know what I mean? In the fact that it's too big to fail.
It'll probably do
won't
its
hit the
numbers.
mark, maybe.
I
It'll
feel
probably.
like it's
we
gonna
will
crush
see.
on them streaming side. Even I mean, it'll do what it's got to do in the theaters, but this is gonna be one of those ones that everyone ends up watching it when it goes to streaming and it goes on one of those top 10 trendings.
Like
you're
the
"Oh,
one with
agree.
Sandra
been
Bullock and
waiting."
Jason and Channing Tatum in the woods, whatever that one's called. People love that one when it hits streaming. You know what I mean?
Also the one about Jennifer Lawrence where she was hired to date the young kid or whatever. Like it didn't do so well in the movies. It was like number 1 on Netflix for like a couple months.
Word.
So yeah, I see it working.
Like
Because like,
that.
I would not want to. I don't think it has anything in that makes it really worthy of a big screen. Even the graphics and shit. Him being a stuntman
And it has
stuff,
one big name actor like in the whole thing.
Wait, this
kind
one?
of big.
Nah,
Who
Emily
else?
Blunt's a huge name. Emily Blunt, the chick, she's a huge name.
Yeah,
She's
she's not.
Two big name actors. She's not in the movie.
She's definitely not a nobody. I recognized her.
Yeah,
instantly.
she's like she apparently, because my wife keeps up with this stuff, she is the in real life wife of this guy from The Office. What was his name? The one that used to always fuck with Dwight.
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
Jim. Yeah.
Jim.
Fair.
She is the wife of Jim. And they were like Marvel fans wanted them to play Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm.
Yeah.
That we got him as Mr. Fantastic, but we didn't get her as Sue Storm. And now they revealed the main cast, and neither one of them will be either of those characters.
But the movie's gonna be solid. It'll probably be a fun thing to watch. The trailer just fucking sucks. I hated that trailer.
Tell him. All right.
Let's check out the next one.
Let's do it.
Funny enough, one of them, not enough people in it.
That's in theaters March 1st?
Yeah.
Next year, March 1st?
No, March 1st is coming up. March 1st. No, it should be in theaters May 1st.
But that said March 1st.
Let's double check.
Yeah, a lot of those have been like fucking changing their dates on us, yo.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
We are go for launch. T-3.
No, it's March 1st, right? No, wait, we're
1.
Wait, whoops, fuck, I fucked that up.
We're about to be in May.
Yeah,
we're about to be in
March
May.
1st. It might just be that it's been out for 2 months.
Open up a new tab, Holden. Double check
What's
that.
it called?
But no,
I mean-
I know for a fact, Fall Guys coming out this. But that's what I'm saying. A lot of these trailers, like that's why we missed while you were gone, Baxter. The weekend of Godzilla, Kong, and the weekend
Fall Guy
of Civil War. We had
release date to May 3rd. So the trailer did state what it said, but they pushed the date.
Oh, so you see?
Yeah.
But I saw it coming on the
May
other
3rd,
site that I saw today. Oh well. All right.
I mean,
keep
that
going.
was the one site I just
This
saw
is
quickly.
definitely coming out.
Ground control. We are go for launch. T-3. 2. 1. Lift off.
Is that a Pop-Tart? Oh, no.
The atom of breakfast. In the early 1960s, the American morning was defined by milk and cereal. And the two undisputed
already
giants of the
interested.
cereal world were Kellogg's and Post.
Major news from the breakfast world. The Post Cereal Company has reportedly invented a shelf-stable fruit pastry breakfast product.
No.
Yeah.
Boy.
It's Post. They did it.
I'm about to finally crush that big red K that never stops glaring at me. How do you think Post did it?
There's always a surprise inside the box.
I wonder if they use xanthan gum.
Xanthan.
Kellogg's is entering the race to reinvent breakfast with the help of Steve Schwinn, Chef Boyardee, and Jack LaLanne.
They're stacking the deck with ringers.
Hey, you know Isaiah Lamb from Quaker?
You Kellogg's people.
We're about to have some very powerful people very upset.
You have to win. Are you making any progress?
It's not to scale, but
What are you guys, 5 years old? Little John draws better than that. And I think there's something wrong with him.
this was gonna be easy.
We're talking about happy childhoods for millions of American kids. The important thing is the name.
Fruit Magoos! What?
No.
Heat 'em up and eat 'em ups.
No sale.
Oblong nibblers.
Is this a joke?
Whoever gets to the shelves first is gonna win this thing.
Give up the cartoon, man!
How did it get this far?
It's breakfast. Things happen.
Isn't this a cereal company? Why did my husband explode?
You wanna like run the podcast back like 10 minutes ago? Flacco made a comment about too many people in a movie, and now it all makes sense. All makes sense.
That's gonna be horrible.
That's gonna be
you know
amazing.
what? It's gonna suck so
sold.
much. That's it. The movie. The recipe was perfect. Like the script, you read it. It was like, oh, this is gonna be funny. The ingredients are all wrong. They're getting like some of the most impersonable, unlikable. They're getting comedians who are great at comedy who you don't want to watch in a movie to do a movie. Like Jerry Seinfeld and fucking Amy Schumer. Fucking even they got Bill Burr being
I like Bill Burr a lot.
I love Bill Burr, but
yeah,
as
I think that's as JFK. I thought that was actually good because I'm like JFK is from Boston, isn't he?
Yeah, but it like what they're showing, like what he's saying and what they're showing, isn't funny. Like no place no place in that trailer where I was like, huh, ha. The whole thing. I'm like, oh, I'm just watching people trying to be funny and nobody's being funny. Like, how do you have a trailer full of that many comedians that last that long where nothing funny happened in the entire trailer?
That wasn't the point of the trailer. The point of the trailer was to be like, look at all of the people in the trailer, and it's going to be about pop. Plus, they showcased the world, right? And so that really had me interested. Because I like the framing of this type of movie with this type of lens on it, where just the ridiculousness of them existing made me want to watch this. I was like, this shit is so custom tailored to what I would want out of this satire fucking world that I think I'm more interested in this than most trailers I've seen.
Watch it. Let me know what you think. When you come back and tell me how horrible it is, I'll pretend to be surprised.
Respect. But could not be horrible. Although Amy Schumer is a red flag. I will give you that. Amy Schumer, red flag. She shouldn't be in charge of
Super
Post.
red flag. Jerry Seinfeld really just isn't funny, in my opinion. I'm not like a Jerry Seinfeld
I'm
fan
Jewish, though.
Like that.
So,
yo, Jerry Seinfeld wins
he
because
is funny to me.
Jerry Seinfeld wins because the show Seinfeld was hilarious. His stand-up is meh. It's that's cute. That's clever. Right. You know? And like
but bringing his stand-up to life in the show and doing that whole like
in between,
what is it with cereal? You know, and bits like that, it brought his comedy to life in a way that his stand-up never could hit.
But even beyond that, it made us familiar with him as a stand-up while we've never seen him do a stand-up special. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember like he came out with a Netflix stand-up special like not that long ago, and I watched it and I was like, I thought I was a Jerry Seinfeld fan. Turns out I'm just a Seinfeld fan. Like, I'm not a fan of him as a comedian. I'm a fan of him as a character written in a show. And he doesn't like he's not a. He doesn't come off as like a human being when you see him. Like even his show, comedians in cars getting coffee, is good depending on who the comedian he's interviewing is. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not one.
He's not gonna make it interesting regardless.
Right.
He's like a robot.
I like him as a character. I'm not that into him as a stand-up comic, but when he plays roles, I fuck with him.
Yeah, I gave up on Seinfeld a while ago, and I felt the same way about the stand-up. I watched it where it was like, I was never really a Seinfeld the show fan. I watched a good amount of it. You know what I mean? I watched a lot more of Seinfeld than I watched Friends. I'd say that much.
I watched both of them,
but I still occasionally bust out a Pavat, and people swear that like I'm like a fucking huge Friends fan. You know what I mean? It's just like it's just one of a handful of episodes I happen to catch, and it was catchy. You know what I mean? Like Pavat was catchy. And same as like the fucking same as the fucking Seinfeld. You know, what is it with bread? You know, thing is like a thing that like happened on more than enough episodes of Seinfeld. I don't know. I'm gonna watch this for sure. Even though I hate a majority of the cast.
I bet it's gonna be such a riveting tale because them fucking big cereal boys is gangsterish in their fucking ways that they moved. That isn't hyperbolic. They in history pulled that type of thuggery
it was
how
crazy
they played.
back then.
So like I'm just wild,
and there was no
excited to see
rules that we live by now. Back then, you know what I mean?
I mean, shit, to this day, motherfuckers are turning up dead for whistleblowing on companies. That just happened, like, recently. Anyway.
I still think it's going to be, I think it's going to be trash.
Let's get to the next trailer. Third trailer.
I might not have cultured taste, though, and I totally accept that. I just got to copy the link. I like what I like, and we run it.
We eat what we like.
I know this might sound crazy. I don't want to alarm you.
Do you remember a TV show we used to watch together? It was called...
The Pink Opaque?
Yeah. Do you watch?
Each episode, they help each other fight a new monster from across the county. But it's way too scary for most kids.
If we're gonna defeat him this time, we're gonna need to harness the full potential of our shared powers.
Sometimes the Pink Opaque feels more real than real life.
Maddie, it was a TV show.
Are you sure that's all it was? I like girls, you know that, right?
Totally, that's fine.
What about you? Do you like girls?
I think that I like TV shows.
It's our destiny.
How can I have a destiny?
Something's wrong. This isn't how life is supposed to feel. Tell me you know it's true.
Maddie, it's just the suburbs.
Seems like you're always somewhere else lately.
Maddie disappeared without a trace. All they found was her TV set burning in the backyard. I told myself I made the right choice. What if I really was someone else? Very far away on the other side of a television screen.
Okay.
That was some good indie rock.
I don't have a prediction. That could be really good. It could be really bad. That guy that's in it, though, I don't think I like him as an actor. Detective Pikachu, dude. The Magical World of Negroes. What was it called?
That is definitely the same actor from the Magical... Yeah, you know what we're talking about. Magical Negroes.
Yeah, movie. And Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, and Detective Pikachu.
That is going to be... Like, I don't know what that movie's about, but I feel like we got the intro quest to the video game, and we don't know what happens when you get out the tutorial area.
That movie and the first movie are like polar opposites, and they both... Like, the first movie shows us too much of the movie. Like we know the entire.
Doesn't show us nowhere near enough. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen in this movie. It interests me though because of that. That actor was also, if I'm not mistaken, he was in the the Bronx Gentrifier special, that hip hop show that like everybody like
Oh,
but
yeah. About
was like
Cool Herc in
but
them.
yeah, but was like actually like fucking literally made by gentrifying white people, like that were like gentrifying this like the part of the
South
Bronx. Like
Bronx.
the guys trying to rename the South Bronx Piano
Piano
District and
District.
all this
Yep.
shit was like the guys behind the show that he was on. But like I don't ever hold that, like, you know, when you're like a black actor, I know what time it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when like you're, you know, you can't always say no to things and you're just trying to fucking pay bills. So like
Yeah.
I really for me it's about like what you do after that, what you get to do with yourself as an artist once you do get a little bit of money. And I've seen him do a lot of like dope indie projects that I like. And so, you know,
He was also in the
liked
Dungeons and
him.
Dragons movie.
He was in the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
And
He was in another movie
liked
that
him
I
in that.
watched that I really liked, where he was like getting conned and hustled. And then yeah, it was I forget the name of it. He's got like a great discography.
You know what it
A
is about him that
filmography.
you know what it is about him that turns me off? I feel like he's always playing like a sniveling sort of like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just happy.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be
Yeah.
here kind of guy.
Yeah,
Like, you know?
yeah.
And I'm
He
like
definitely plays the ooh.
I'm like, can we switch it up? Like you're kind of the same guy that you were in like the last couple movies.
Give him a few years. He might, you know what I mean, end up bulking up and then becomes like fucking the Black Ryan Gosling, and then you're like, oh my god, I hate you as the
this
Black
guy's
Ryan Gosling.
face.
I hate him as the Black Ryan Gosling. Why is he doing that? Lindell, it doesn't really fit. What I'm saying is it doesn't really fit the format of the show to just talk about movies when we talk about like the stuff that's happening in current events weekly. But we could maybe like make it a topic that we talk about behind the scenes, and we record it and put it on the Patreon, and you would just have to like subscribe to the Patreon. But I'll leave it up to the guys. We'll discuss it. Last trailer. Let's get it gone because Baxter, we're holding up Baxter's time. God damn it.
Baxter want to be here too. Don't get me wrong. He likes it.
I do. I also have to give time to my girlfriend.
Yeah,
I feel you. She waiting for me too.
พวกเราแฝงตัวอยู่กับสิ่งแวดล้อม พวกเธอถือเป็นมือสังหารระดับพักการที่เก่งกาจที่สุดเท่าที่โลกนี้เคยมีมา พวกเธอเป็นที่รู้จักกันภายใต้โค้ดเนม คิตตี้ คิตตี้
เมื่อพูดถึงการสรรหาและดูแลมือสังหารหญิงคุณเป็นตำนานนะ
คุณเพิ่งชมผมเองว่าผมเป็นตำนานแล้วคุณจะฆ่าผมอย่างนั้น
พวกเราจะไม่มีค่าอะไรเลย ถ้าเราไม่เชื่อฟังเองสิ
โอเคไปอยากไป
How do you not know how to dodge an axe?
Let's get it.
I'll go first. I love the idea of fucking anime in live action movies. One of my top 10 favorite of all time movies is Revolver by Guy Ritchie, starring fucking Jason Statham and fucking what's the guy that played what's his name in Goodfellas, the star of Goodfellas? I forgot the name of that actor. Ray Liotta. Ray Liotta, Andre 3000. It starred a bunch of people. It was a fantastic movie, and it had a section of the movie that was anime, and I just fucking love that. And so this caught me with that. You know what I mean?
Kill Bill did it too.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't Kill Bill have
Yeah, Kill Bill
animated
also
chapter?
do it. Exactly. Also, Kill Bill also did a great movie. Yeah, man. I don't know. This looks cool to me. I'm gonna definitely check it out.
I feel like this movie is going to be exactly what it looks like. And if you want to watch a little girl go fucking destroy a bunch of grown-ups, that's what this fucking movie is.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'd rather watch an Asian little girl do it than a white little girl. Like, I'm kind of... We just finished talking about this last week when we didn't have an episode. Me and Holden still did, like, the cinematic thing on Friday afternoon or something like that. And there was something that there was like a exorcism vampire little white girl, and I was just like talking about how like that's like a super trend nowadays, is like the dangerous white girl, right? Like just like the little white girl that's either a robot and like, you know, your life is in danger because of that, or the little white girl from Becky who's like hunting KK white guys in the forest. You know what I mean? That's like a trend. So I'd rather see like a little Asian girl do it or a little black girl do it, like in the series, than to watch another white girl do it.
Right.
I do think this movie is going to be exactly what it looks like, but it also looks like a fan-made film with a huge budget. Like it doesn't seem like polished or professional more than it seems like stylized and like what do you call it? Like the props and the costumes look amazing. The fighting looks a bit like weird and stiff, and some of it looks a bit like amateurish. And I think it's going to be like watching a high-budget fan-made movie. But that could be good if that's what you go and looking for.
I feel like if you want to watch a young Asian girl go hard while crazy intense music plays in the background, and it's basically like an anime come to life, you're gonna get exactly that. And
you'll enjoy.
I don't think it looks like. It doesn't really look like an anime coming to life, because even the anime sections look like low budget. It doesn't look like anime. It looks like somebody wanting you to look at this as anime.
That's how I would.
Yeah, no, they definitely didn't have the budget for like the real anime. You know what I mean? Like they were like, let's make this like manga adjacent with like the moving pictures. You know what I mean? Like,
and even the way the camera is set up in the action scenes isn't necessarily like, a lot of it's shot like extra dark. A lot of it's shot like from the back of that where the action is happening, so you can like block more of like what's really happening. And it's like these are like, you know, the tricks you do when you don't really know how to do the other tricks, or you don't have like the stunt team to pull off the other stuff, which I'm not saying anything is like wrong with that. I'm just saying that like, oh, this is like when I watch Vader, was that King Vader does his like YouTube anime stuff, and it's like, word, there's a certain level of suspending my disbelief that is necessary for me to like totally engage and enjoy, which I'm willing to do because I know this is like of a certain you know tier.
You know what? You're right, and I think because this is another one of those situations where like I see a trailer and I see, oh, this has potential for the future of this person's career. You know what I mean? Like that. Like we had watched a trailer for a show called Parasite that came to Netflix with the aliens fucking stretching their heads out, and I watched the series. You know what I mean? I watched it and over the weekend actually, and like I could tell you like it wasn't great. What I get out of it is like this cool special effects graphic team. They are going to have a future, kind of like the guy from District 9. You know what I mean? Like, oh, really? You're a special effects guy? Or kind of like the you're a special effects guy, and you're gonna build a movie around being good at these special effects. And so, really, but we got lucky with District 9, and it was a good story, and he knew how to do everything right. You know what I mean? But with this, it's more like, oh, they're the special effects team from this. You know what I mean? Kind of like the Raid, the stunt team are the actors, are the stars, are the writers of the whole thing. And it's like, I'm not really here for all that. I'm here for how good they kick ass on camera. And now I can't wait to see them under like Guy Ritchie, Quentin Tarantino, or director, you know, Spike Lee, a director that really knows what he get, Anton Fuqua, that knows what they're doing and gets to bring your abilities to like a big budget Hollywood movie. You know what I mean? Right. So like, I think I'm like, because I was thinking that over the weekend about mentioning how like I watched Parasite. And I'm like, yo, really? Like I got through the whole series and it was good, but it was also like not great. It was good, like a passing grade, good, like a 65,
most anime adaptations don't really live up to the standard.
Yeah, but like
the
special effect from that whole thing was the thing that kept on being good the whole series. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay, like this special effects team is like, wow, good. Like they should definitely like, you know, if I ever see from the people that did the special effects for Parasite, I'll be like, hey, I might check that out.
Right.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Hold on. Just what are y'all doing next week before we get out of here? We gotta do it all proper.
Hosting another open mic at Karma in the Lower East Side. If you're in New York City, come to 51 First Avenue next Sunday, Cinco de Mayo, from 8 o'clock to midnight, and there will be some rapping happening.
Nice.
And you might see me there.
You might. We'll find out. And if you want to know,
we'll find out on Monday.
Check it out next Monday, and we'll get the recap and find out if Flacko showed up.
Right. That's what I would say that I'm doing. So let's move on to you. What you doing, Holden?
Nothing that exciting for most of the week. It's gonna be like kind of get organized, make sure that I go out there and make money to pay for that ticket I got, and then I will end up on the radio to promo the new song for college radio and shit. Go up there, you know, shout out DJ Blaster for letting us just pull up like that and creating that platform. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else that exciting. It's going to be one of those calmer weeks because the following couple of weeks are going to be busy. So you got to like take time in the middle. Like, you know, at some point you got to clean up, you know, do some chores.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, that's it. So thank y'all for watching, everyone. We appreciate you riding it through with us. Make sure to leave some comments on whatever platform you're watching on. Head over to the YouTube and subscribe. We are getting very close to the monetization threshold of subscribers, so with your help we can get there. We're less than 50 away, so we appreciate you for hitting that button, especially if you made it this far into a long video. The least you could do is hit it, and then hit the like button, and then share it on your social media platforms with your friends.
Thanks, guys.
Let them know you care about our perspectives, and then tell them your perspectives about our perspectives. Anyway, patreon.com/perspectives. If you fuck with us, you get to see some extra bonus content.
Shouts to the people who came because of the Mortal Technique interview.
Yeah.
And they still subscribed even when they saw like my nails done in the interview. You know what I mean? Because I know that I'm not your kind of guy.
Like a few
you know
comments.
what I mean? Like, yo, there was definitely wild comments. There was, you know. So thanks to you guys if you subscribed. You know what I mean?
And stuck with us. And then there's technically movie night the last Monday of every month, which is this Monday. So if you want to join us for that, we're going through some Netflix documentaries.
Wait, is that today?
That is today.
God damn it, Holden.
I know.
Shit.
I felt the same way. But time is time, and we don't control the calendar.
No,
it's
we
just
don't.
the reality of the situation. So we'll jump on the Discord, and if you want to be there, patreon.com/perspectives as we go through stuff that we watch and then talk about it after. And then that becomes a little piece of content. You can be part of that discussion. So it's open to anyone who subscribes.
Lindell, you should go there, and we could have fucking
discussed
that shit after.
Night.
You know what
That's
I mean?
where the
Then
best time is, Lindell.
Then you can fucking focus on movie night.
And if you want to come, Lindell, I got you. But like, end of the day, we appreciate you all being here. Thanks again for watching. Let us know if you think Drake or Kendrick Lamar is currently winning this beef and how you think it's going to play out. And live long and prosper, everyone out there.
Be safe, y'all.
Yeah.
Peace.
Viking Samurai Podcast.